very much in favor of the counting of points.
Does it work for you? No.
Hello, and welcome back to The Run Through, your favorite figure skating podcast, where we talk about all the things that make us kiss, make us cry, and make us talk about the dance lore part 3. You might be wondering, oh my God, is that Ashley Wagner on the dance lore? Where has she been? You're right, it's me. I'm back because I knew I could not miss out on part 3 of this dance lore. And as always, I am joined by Adam Rippon, not Olympic champion Sarah Hughes, and our dance expert Michelle Ellis. Welcome back. I'm so excited for you to lead us through this epic era of dance. You've been sharing some photos from this, and they're fucking hilarious.
Thank you so much. I was a little bit less nervous this time, but now I am fully nervous again. So.
Oh, great.
Don't
okay, good.
be.
That is, I tend to really bring that out in people.
The fear.
The fear.
This era has one of the most iconic skating photos of all time, which I will get to, and you guys saw. Yeah.
I can't wait. But you know what, Michelle? I have to say, you being nervous is a great sign because the first 2 lore episodes have been phenomenal.
Okay.
So if you being nervous is the price that we have to pay as an audience, buckle up. Here we go. Here goes
It's a
nothing.
price I'm willing to pay. I'm willing to sacrifice you for the dance lore.
Your discomfort is worth my enjoyment.
It's so true, though. Both episodes, as soon as they wrapped up, separately, Adam and Sarah called me up and they're like, you have to go and listen to this dance lore. It's so good.
Yeah, we're really loving this series.
Okay, well, I'm glad you guys are enjoying this, and I'm happy to teach you about ice dance lore.
No, you're teaching us about ice dance, period, and comma lore.
Okay.
And I'm just learning about figure skating.
That's right.
Every day, innocent figure skaters like Ashley are living their lives without knowing anything about figure skating. They're crying out for help. For just $5 a month, you can be a part of the solution. Go to patreon.com/therunthroughpodcast for your chance to stand up for these skaters and to support the education they so desperately need. Thank you.
Michelle, remind us where we're picking up, where we left off last time.
So in terms of amateur skating, we left off last time in 2006 after the Olympic season. And after that season, many of the teams that I mentioned on the episode retired or stepped away from skating and eventually retired. And the ones who retired are Novka and Kostymarov from Russia, the Olympic champions, Grushina and Gontrov of Ukraine, who are the Olympic bronze medalists.
The slow Olympic bronze medalists.
So slow. Drobiazko and Vanagas, the forever dumped Lithuanians, who are the crowd favorites, and Barbara
The petitioners.
Fuzar-Poli. Yeah, the petitioners. And Barbara Fuzar-Poli and Maurizio Margalio.
R.I.P.
However,
It's so sad. Their death, Sarah. It's so sad.
they'll be back in this episode. The entire
You
world
can't say
podium.
shit like that, Sarah, because I'm like, wait, did they die?
You're right. I'm sorry. I meant as a competitive team. Ignore me. Cut that out.
No, ignore me.
So the entire world podium stays amateur. And the world podium are the Bulgarians, Albina Denkova and Maxim Staviyski. They're the world champions. The Canadians, Marie-France Dubré, Patrice Lauzon, and the bronze medalists, the Americans, Tanith Belbin and Ben Agosto. And also the fourth place finishers at the Olympics of France, Isabelle Delobel and Olivier Schoenfelder. They also stay in this season. So that takes me to part 1. 7 deadly soft tissue injuries.
How deadly.
You'll see.
The real
So-
RIP that Ashley's worried about or the kind that I'm saying?
I mean, honestly, I feel like death is better than some of the stuff that happens to these people. And there is a death that will come up. So
Oh, there is a death for sure.
and a murder, actually.
This sounds like a murder mystery party for
Well,
us.
it's not a mystery, but
This
it
is a true
murder.
crime podcast.
It is. It is now. Well, I mean, we know who did it. He's at the
Honestly,
scene of the
dance
crime.
is full of crimes.
Oh, this is a real one. Okay, so Tanith and Ben, after Torino, are very famous, and they get invited to do all kinds of shows, and they are touring
Because
all
they've
through
just won the
summer.
Olympic silver medal, right?
Silver
I know
medal.
you said they
Yeah.
were third at Worlds, but they
Yeah.
won silver at the Olympics.
Yes.
Okay.
So they're touring all summer. They don't get home to start preparing for the season until August, which is very, very late.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And they choose later Grand Prix events. They don't go to Skate America. They go start their season at Cup of China. They show up at Cup of China, and right off the bat, they lose. And they lose to a Russian team, Oksana Domnina and Maxim Shabalin.
Okay.
This is a team that's like never beaten them before. Domnina and Shabalin were 9th in Torino. They're students of Alexei Gorshkov, who is a coach in Moscow. He has a reputation for being a really, really good technical coach. Domnina and Shabalin are very strong, competent skaters. They've just always been like in Navka and Kostomarov's shadow. They have a free dance to Polovtsian dances by Borodin, and it's a really good program, and they just beat Tanith and Ben. And it's just kind of like, what? Tanith and Ben lost? Tanith and Ben also have a free dance this season that is a little undercooked. It's not the best. It's called That's Entertainment. It's like a musical tribute to the MGM films of like the 20s through the 50s, like the musicals. And it's not that good of a program. I think in hindsight, this might have been our first clue that their coaches weren't that into them anymore. But it's just kind of like a surprise to see them have such a underdeveloped program. I mean,
And
they had a
remind
short
us
time
who
to
those
prepare.
coaches are.
Their coaches are Igor Spielban and Marina Zueva. Mm-hmm. So anyway, the teams face off again a week later at Cup of Russia. Belbin and Agosto win that event. They qualify for the Grand Prix final. They miss it because Ben Agosto injures his back in practice. Meanwhile, the Bulgarians, Denkova and Staviyski, the defending world champions, they have a great fall. They win both of their Grand Prix events. They win the final. They show up to Europeans, and things get weird at Europeans. And in a lot of ways, Europeans
Which is so
often,
weird because Europeans are normally
I know.
so
So
straightforward.
stable.
It's a little bit of an
Yeah.
unserious competition sometimes. So despite being like undefeated world champions, Denkova and Staviyski, I have to mention, haven't been to Europeans the past 2 years, just because of
Okay.
politics or whatever. They don't usually go to this event. They show up and they're third in all segments, and they finish third overall. And they blame the fact that there's no Bulgarian judge in the panel. Denkova, she's really cute in this interview with Paul Wiley. She's like, we want revenge at Worlds. But they're basically like, this is bullshit. Meanwhile, Delobel and Schoenfelder of France, they win the compulsory dance. They win the original dance. They're second in the free dance, and they win. Don't get me wrong. I love this team. They are forever deprived and held down and whatever. But this is bizarre. They've never won a Grand Prix. They've never won a European medal. And they win over the world champions. Domnina and Shabalin, meanwhile, they win the free dance. They skate really well. Their Polovtsian dances free dance is like huge in Warsaw. Like the crowd loves it. It's a big hit. They win the free dance and they're second overall.
It's so important to be huge in Warsaw. I
Yes.
can't
Emphasize that enough.
I can't emphasize that enough. Yes.
Yeah.
Especially in ice dance.
Yeah.
Now, how did it play in Warsaw? Is what they always, what they
played
always
very
say.
well. Meanwhile, the same week as Europeans, Belbin and Agosto show up to U.S. championships, which they're often in the same week. It's very annoying. But they have a new free dance. They show up with a new free dance to music from Amelie. And this program is a lot better. It's like more lived in, the more developed characters. It's like, okay, this is the Tanith and Ben we remember. This is a little bit better vehicle for them. So they win nationals. Then Belbin and Agosto go to Four Continents, and they finish second at Four Continents behind Marie-France Dubray and Patrice Lauzon. Dubray and Lauzon have this beautiful romantic free dance to At Last. It has these just elegant lifts and just this like, their beautiful like chemistry between them. It's really nice. It feels like expensive. It's a really nice program. So even though Denkova, Staviyski had this very weird Europeans. Going into Worlds, it really feels like it's between the Bulgarians and the Canadians to win. And
Interesting.
Yeah.
So we're just discounting Delobel and Schoenfelder.
Well, we think they have a good shot at a medal because they are the European champions.
Right.
But the Europeans' result was weird. We get to Worlds in Tokyo, and Denkova, Staviyski skate really well. And I have to add that they are also especially beloved by the Japanese crowd because a lot of the Japanese fans think Max Staviyski looks like David Beckham. And so they are just feral.
Does he?
Kind of, actually, now that you say that.
A little bit. He's handsome. I don't want to say he looks like David Beckham. I feel like it's a thing where, like, all, like, you know, blonde white men kind of look
All white
alike.
people look the same.
Yeah.
Well, it's like if David Beckham did a really long stint in Sofia, Bulgaria.
Yes. Yeah.
That's...
Yeah. Staviyski has a very, like, bizarre Russian response to this when he's asked about it. He's like, well, I wish I had David Beckham's money. It's like, okay.
Okay.
Me too.
He could have just said, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
That feels like it's insinuated. Yeah.
But the Bulgarians skate fantastically in Tokyo. And I want to talk about their free dance because this free dance, Natalia Linichuk, their coach, she was on drugs when she created this program. And I mean it in the most complimentary way possible. It is batshit. It is called the 7 Deadly Sins, and it has everything. It has lacrimosa. It has a demonic voice reciting the 7 Deadly Sins in Latin. It has these
not Latin.
Yeah, it has these absolutely insane lifts that are just and a total showcase for Maxim Staviyski's incredible skating skills. He's very much like the best ice dancer of his generation. He just like skates with his whole body. He's amazing. It has a baby crying. It has Albana holding the baby, handing it to Max, and Max holding the baby. It has that really powerful music from Romeo and Juliet, the Leonardo DiCaprio version. It has butterflies exploding out of their chests. Like,
I forgot about this.
it's crazy. And it is like this triumph of weird Eastern European dance choreography. It's phenomenal. I looked
How
at
did this not play well in Warsaw? I don't...
I know, right? I know. So I looked at the story of the program. Maxime is the sinner, while Albana is the embodiment of good. It is a battle for Albana to get Maxime to stop sinning. During the slow section, you see Albana's movements mimicking the carrying of a baby. It is here that the program resolves towards innocence. In the end, Maxime still resists Albana, and he keeps on sinning.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and it's the voice.
Which is
like,
kind of what David Beckham would do
yeah,
as well.
Yeah.
that's true.
If he didn't have
Especially
money.
If he didn't have money. Yeah. Especially if he was Bulgarian.
Yeah.
Do they like put a button on anything with the baby, or is that just kind of left for the
No,
audience
I
to
think
kind
it's
of assume?
just something that she shows him to try and get him to stop being evil, but he's just like, never mind, you know.
Yeah,
whatever.
typical woman
Yeah.
showing a
typical.
baby.
Yeah.
I did the same with my husband, and it didn't win him over
He keeps
either.
sinning. It's crazy.
They just
Sinning. Alex, look at this baby.
Don't worry. This man will continue to sin. Take it away, Michelle.
Yeah. So they win. They win their second consecutive world title. And Dubray and Lausanne, they skate really well in Tokyo. They didn't win the compulsory dance, but they finished second. They win their second consecutive world silver medal. Their free dance is beautiful, but it's just not weird enough, I think, for this crowd. And Belbin and Agosto...
doesn't play well enough in Warsaw.
Belbin and Agosto, despite their program change mid-season, their issues, whatever, they managed to win the bronze medal with Amelie. So the world podium is exactly the same as the year before. Delobel and Schoenfelder skate relatively well. They have some issues in the free dance with their twizzles, but I mean, it's not a bad competition for them. And they are fourth again.
As always.
And they're fucking upset. They are so upset. But Domnina and Shabalin were supposed to contend for the podium at this Worlds. And while they don't skate badly, like they don't skate their best, they come in under a kind of a, it's like, I guess you'd say a cloud of grief. Oksana Domnina's father passed away by suicide a few weeks before this event. The team comes anyway. They're not doing any like mix zone. They just don't skate with the power that they skated at Europeans. It is revealed after the event that in addition to this issue they were dealing with, Shabalin also injured the meniscus in his right knee before the competition. He competed anyway. He has surgery on it in May. And then he also has his appendix out in August. So he has a busy off season.
My God, things are in and out of that body like a freight train.
Just wait. So the really thing I want to talk about at 2007 Worlds, instead of in addition to the insane Bulgarian free dance, 2 Spielbahn and Zueva teams make their Worlds debut at this Worlds. And I want to talk about both of them. So in 6th place is a Canadian team, and their names are Tessa Virtue and Scott Moir.
They've arrived.
They are the 2006 World Junior Champions, and they're very young. Tessa's only like 17 at this event. I think Scott was 19. And this team, they're thought to be Marina Zueva's like favorites. They're like her pet team. She talks about them a lot and how magical they are and how special their connection is. And they really do have this like effortless natural artistry and chemistry between them. Tessa looks a lot like Ione Skye. I don't know if you guys know who that is, but it's just she has this like 80s romantic,
I don't know who that is.
Coming of age movie look.
Yeah, I'm looking it up.
God, you guys need to watch Say Anything. That's a great movie with John Cusack and Ione Skye.
Oh my God. Yep.
Ashley, can you show the group?
Here.
Oh, wow.
Oh my
she
God.
does look like her.
It looks like if we put Tessa Virtue in it's not even the old filter. Like, this woman looks amazing.
Yeah.
They look like...
She just looks like a slightly older version of Tessa.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Whoa, they look literally like twins.
Okay, so she has, how you've described it as an 80s romantic movie look.
Yeah. And she and
Okay.
Scott, they just have this really effortless chemistry. They also have beautiful lines. And they're very like composed, and they skate with a lot of like emotional maturity for how young and inexperienced they are. Like, this is their first senior Worlds. They do this beautiful free dance to Valse Triste. It is very special. And, it's just kind of like, wow. They just, it's exciting to see like this new team come out of juniors and be this strong and composed. But in 7th place is another team, Meryl Davis and Charlie White of the United States. They were the 2006 World Junior bronze medalists. So the year before, Tessa and Scott won, Meryl and Charlie were 3rd. Davis and White are a very athletic team with this exceptional ability to execute dance elements, particularly their twizzles and their clean like transitions in and out of their elements. They have like by far some of the best like element entries, the best twizzles in the event. And they're very like small in stature. They look kind of diminutive in practice. I remember they got put into a group with a lot of the much more experienced teams, and they looked small, but they were really holding their own. Adam's having a fire incident, but carry on.
Are you okay?
That was like a torch. He's raising the torch for Meryl and Charlie.
Oh my God. Marina Zueva has cast a spell. You said something that has upset her.
I'm trying to get into the mood. I lit my Lamborghini air freshener, but when you light it, it at first looks like the Olympic torch. Because I'm getting in the mood. Because Meryl Davis is here, Tessa Virtue is here. You said clean lines. I said I need like clean sense. Even though
fire.
It looks like I'm setting myself on fire. Michelle, take it away.
Continue.
So, even though Worlds is a spectacular competition, we get a really good podium. These two teams making their Worlds debut are very much like the talk of the event. Like, wow, this is exciting. So the British Eurosport commentator, I don't remember who it was, it might have been Chris Howarth, was basically saying, I wouldn't be surprised if we see these two teams challenging for gold in Vancouver.
Prophetic.
Little
Wow.
prescient. Yeah.
Well, which also would be a pretty bold prediction to think that a team that's just sort of premiering mid-quad would then challenge
Could pull
for a medal.
all the way up to
It's the
podium.
beginning of the quad, I guess, right?
It's the first Worlds after the Olympics.
Still, it's a lot of work to do.
I feel like that's still rare. Like, I feel like when we saw like Lajoie Laga come out into the senior ranks, like we sort of wanted to think, oh, they could challenge for a medal, or like in Milan. but it doesn't actually look like that's going to happen. Like, it's harder to actually do and climb the ranks than it seems.
Yeah. But at this time, we also knew that the Bulgarians and the Canadians were most likely done after this season.
Got it.
There were only
Okay.
like 3 teams ahead of them. And I think Delobel and Schoenfelder continuing was also a question mark because they've been around a long time.
Okay, so at this Worlds, Tessa and Scott get 6th. Meryl and Charlie get what?
7th.
They're right there together. Okay.
Yeah. Zueva was 5th in Worlds in 1977 in Tokyo. And she set a goal for Tessa and Scott of being 5th here in their debut, like she was. And they almost make it. They're 6th. But like I said, they're her favorites. So Dubreuil and Lausanne retire after the season. They leave Lyon, where they've been training, Lyon, France, and they move back to Montreal, where they're from, with plans to open an ice dance school because they are always kind of frustrated that Canada has a million ice rinks but doesn't have a high-level ice dance program for them to train in, that they have to leave their country to train and dance. So they start coaching in Montreal. And just little sidebar, little info. Marie-France Dubreuil's very first student that she starts coaching, her very first student, is a little French-Canadian girl named Christina Carrera.
What?
No way.
Oh,
I know. Isn't that sweet?
Our favorite French Canadian American girl.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So then anyway.
And her very first student to fire her is named Christina
I
Carrera.
don't know if that's true. She was with her for a couple years. But anyway, now let's talk about murder.
Let's.
In August.
I've been waiting.
I
A
thought I
natural
brought the mood
segue
down.
from Christina Carrera to murder.
We have the wholesome, sweet story, and now we're going to talk about violent death. So in August 2007, Max Staviyski, so Denkova Staviyski have not officially retired yet. They have Grand Prix assignments, but we all kind of think like they're probably not going to do them. It's like up in the air. Max Staviyski is in a drunk driving accident in Bulgaria. He rams his Hummer into a Honda. The driver, this 24-year-old man, is immediately killed. The passenger, who is his...
He's the drunk one?
Yes. He's the drunk one. Max is the drunk one. The passenger in the car, she's an 18-year-old. Her name is Manuela Gorsova. She survives, but she is in a coma. She's grievously injured.
Oh my God.
So some stories start coming out about this, and they're like, the details are horrible. Staviyski was stopped by a police officer a few miles earlier, let off with a warning, allegedly because the police officer recognized him as this Bulgarian celebrity. His blood alcohol level was more than double the legal limit. He was driving 100 kilometers per hour when he hit the Honda, and that's 62 miles per hour. So this was in a Hummer. So this was a really violent crash. And I remember the crash scene photos from the time. You could see in the Hummer, it was monogrammed on the front door, like his name in Cyrillic and like 2-time world champion. It was like, I think, a gift from the government. He got this Hummer. So he is facing like up to 10 years in prison. He pleads guilty on all counts. He ultimately receives a 2.5-year suspended sentence and has to pay a fine. The victim's family's appeal. The suspended nature of it is overturned, so he's going to have to serve prison time. But then he appeals that, and it's reinstated. So ultimately, he serves no jail time. He has like 5 years of probation. No. And he has to pay a fine. I calculated the Bulgarian currency to today's dollars. In today's dollars, it's $153,000. No jail time.
That's fucking awful for that family.
Yeah. I mean, both families, because it was like an engaged couple.
I mean, both families.
Yeah.
She was horrifically injured as well.
And I've been having trouble finding updates on like, because they used to be like press updates on her constantly. She went to Israel for treatment. She came back to Bulgaria. The last photo I saw of her, she was in a wheelchair and she still had a trach, so she wasn't breathing on her own. It was terrible. And then her father embezzled a lot of the money that was raised for her online. So she's just
Jesus.
Yeah, it's very sad.
She can't catch a break.
Yeah. So Staviyski announces his retirement in October 2007, and Denkova Staviyski are off the Grand Prix. They actually go on to have a relatively successful professional career after this. They go on Ice Age, the Russian Skating with the Stars show. They open an ice dance school in Bulgaria. And they do a ton of work with elite skaters in Russia still. And they also work with Brian Joubert a little bit. So, anyway. They are still together. Denkova Staviyski are like a couple off the ice, and they have a son. That is the end of their story
that is
today.
A sad ending.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So in fall 2007, Oksana Domnina and Maxim Shabalin, they show up on the Grand Prix with a free dance to Masquerade Waltz by Aram Khachaturian. This is very popular music in Russian skating. Pakhomova Gorshkov, the 1976 Olympic champions, had a really legendary free dance to this piece, and this is very much like when you're on top and you're going to win something, you skate to this music. It's like you're sort of like kind of like finesse on like the height of your career. So Domnina and Shabalin showing up with this.
It's a coronation song.
Yes, we are here to win worlds.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
There aren't a lot of Russian teams that have even attempted to skate to this.
Not a bunch. Valse Trenkov pair team did it at the Olympics in Sochi. It was their short program.
Oh, it was my favorite. I loved it. Coronation.
Yeah. But Domnina Shabalin show up to Cup of China. They have another face-off with Belbin and Agosto, and they have a weird accident in their program. They're doing a dance spin where Shabalin pulls Domnina's leg up into a Bielman in the spin, and he's like, and he pulls like way too hard and lifts her off the ground. And we're under the new scoring system, and there are rules about things when things happen. And because he lifts her off the ground, it gets called as a lift. So they get a lower level on their dance spin, they get a level 1 rotational lift, and they completely lose credit for their last lift. So they lose to Belbin and Agosto. And everyone is like, oh my God, these things can happen. Like, this is like, we're still relatively new into the scoring system. I think this is year 3. So it's like, this is kind of shocking and scary for people for this to like see this happen to a team. But anyway.
This is very stationary lift base.
Yes. There you go.
It's very scary, as you put it. It's very scary to see this happen. Yeah. A man lifted a woman in an extended Bielman spin. This is scary.
It was.
This is ice dance.
But they go on and they win Cup of Russia. They win the Grand Prix final. But after they win the Grand Prix final, Shabalin needs another surgery, his 3rd of the year. So in late December...
This man is falling apart. In
late December, he has surgery on his left meniscus, his meniscus in his left knee. So now in 1 year, he's had operations on both knees. The team withdraws from nationals, but they come to Europeans. And Europeans is like 2.5 weeks after surgery, because he has it at the very end of December. Yeah. And they skate relatively well at Europeans. Shabalin is on 2 feet for a lot of it, but they win.
Who isn't? Everyone's on 2 feet.
I'm on 2 feet most of the time as well.
Yeah. He's clearly in a lot of pain. He's limping coming off the ice. I was at this event, and I remember going up, because at the Dom Sportova in Croatia, you have to go up a flight of stairs to get to the mix zone. And I went up to the mix zone behind them, and he was like having trouble getting his foot up on the stairs. He was in a lot of pain.
Poor guy.
It was awful. Yeah. But they win. You know, at what cost? We will soon see. Delobel and Schoenfelder finished 2nd. They do not defend their European title. They're not happy about it. They're salty about it. But I want to talk about the team that finished 3rd. They are another Russian team by the names of Yana Khokhlova and Sergei Novitski. This quad is full of the most creative, interesting free dances. I feel like this was a really innovative period in dance. This is like one of the best that anyone does. It is so bizarre and inspired and exciting. So they were the third member of the Russian team in Torino. They were 12th in Torino. They win 2008 Russian Nationals after Domnina Shabalin withdraw. Khokhlova and Novitski are they're much smaller and more agile than Domnina Shabalin. They're like more suited to the new system. And they're coached by Alexander Shvinin and Irina Zhuk, who don't have the same politique, but we know them. They coach Stepan Bukin. I love them. They're so nice. Yana Khokhlova is a complete superstar. She has this exceptional gymnastic ability in lifts and in choreography. She's done acrobatics and like show skating as a child. And she is just like a superstar performer. It's like very like giving like Stephanie Germanotta when she performs. She's so fierce. So their free dance, after all that build up, their free dance is A Night on Bald Mountain. And it is scary. It's about basically a satanic ritual. So
I forgot about this one.
In the program, Khokhlova portrays a witch and Novitski is a demon. It's based on a short story in which witches and creatures of the underworld gather on top of Bald Mountain to hold Sabbath and dance. And they are recreating the nocturnal festivities.
This
it's
is
literally
amazing.
me and Ashley on this podcast.
Sometimes.
Portraying a witch and a demon.
But who is which?
No, Sarah is the narrator of the witch, and she tries
Sarah
to
is
gather
playing
us
the music
together.
in the background,
She's the orchestra.
causing the chaos in the background.
I'm playing the music faster and faster.
No,
like
she's
you're my little
the Muppet Master.
you're my little marionettes.
Yes. She holds the strings.
Oh my God. Michelle, I forgot about
Yeah.
this program.
Yeah. It's this frantic, demonic choreography. It's so innovative. And I want to describe 2 of their lifts because it has the craziest lifts. No one's ever seen anything like this. So, and all the lifts are built around the theme of the program, which should happen in every free dance, but often doesn't in dance. But there's one lift at the end where Yana she has a layback into a Belbin spin, pulls her leg up into the Belbin spin, and Sergei puts his arm through her spin and lifts her off the ground into a rotational lift. So totally arms-free entrance. And then there's another one where Sergei is down like really in a really deep squat, and Yana is standing on her hands on his feet with like in a back bend, pedaling her legs to like frantic music. Yeah, this program just rockets this team into the spotlight. Yeah, it's fun, and they skate it really well at Europeans. They win the bronze medal, and it's like, oh my gosh, like yay! Look at this team. It's just like we have 2 Russian teams now who are in podium contention. Okay, so back in North America, during Europeans, Belbin and Agosto win their 5th national title. They skip 4 continents, and at 4 continents, Virtue and Moir win, and Davis and White are second. So we're heading into Worlds, and it's kind of like, what's going to happen there? Like, it seems like Domnina and Shabalin have the momentum because they won the final, they won Europeans, but we'll see. Right before the event, Domnina and Shabalin withdraw because Shabalin is still having a ton of pain from his knee surgery. Imagine that. He goes.
Why did we go to Europeans?
So he goes to Germany and spends 6 weeks there. Their coach, Alexei Gorshkov, is getting so much flack over this because it's like, why would you send this team to Europeans to compete? Like, yes, they have a European title, but now they're missing the opportunity to win a world title because you didn't let him recover.
Right.
It's just, yeah. So it looks like going into this Worlds, Belbin and Agosto could win their first world title because, the next highest ranked team at the final was Delobel and Schoenfelder, and Belbin and Agosto usually beat them.
Well, everyone usually beats them.
Yeah.
What else is new?
They're going to get 4th.
Tell me something lore-ish.
But you remember,
I feel bad for them. That feels like a psychological torture experiment that the government would do to put you in ice dance with a highly political arbitrary discipline and just always put you 4th forever.
I mean, we should ask them about it because they went through it. I mean, the French government was kind of doing that to them.
It's a military tactic.
Yeah, the CIA actually, it's one of those 50 years from now, it's going to be declassified, and that's going to come out as one of their experiments.
Yeah. They're like, what happens to people who get...
4th every single time in a highly controlled environment.
Yeah, no matter who's injured, no matter how good their material
The
is.
devil couldn't get me, so he made sure I got 4th every time.
Well, if they were skating for the U.S., they'd get a pewter medal. So,
and I have many of those, and it is just as awful as it sounds.
That's part of the military program.
It is.
So
Ashley's running it now.
So Belbin and Agosto show up in Sweden. And, there's this dialogue, they can win. They might win. But remember how I said that Zueva, very much favored Virtue and Moir? Belbin and Agosto show up to Worlds, and the vibes are off. I don't know if you would notice it, watching it on TV, but being there and working this and trying to talk to everybody, there was a weird feeling. And Belbin and Agosto are usually, holding court in the mix zone at competitions. They are just, everyone wants to talk to them. They're just so great. They weren't being that way at this event. They go up to do the compulsory dance. It's the Argentine tango, going fine. And then Tanith falls on a twizzle. I'm a fall in the compulsory dance is this is very rare. This is unusual. So she falls, and it's shocking. And this team then is playing catch up all the rest of the event. They're still way off in the original dance, just not skating the way they can skate. They do recover in the free dance, and they're 3rd in that segment, but it is not enough to get on the podium. And they finish 4th overall.
No. Okay.
Well, you know who's not 4th? Delobel and Schoenfelder,
They're fifth.
they skate really well in the compulsory dance and the original dance, and like this is finally their moment. They're in the lead going into the free dance.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
They're in the lead going into the free
Yes.
dance.
Yes.
Okay.
They have a program this season. Their free dance is to music from the piano. And Delobel and Schoenfelder, they're always doing very experimental things. Sometimes it works really well. Sometimes it's like works a little bit less well. One thing that they started doing this season that became a trend that everyone copied was that Isabel would start on the boards before the compulsory dance, and she would like sashay over to Olivier before, and they'd have like an interaction before they started.
Yes.
Oh, so they started this trend.
I think they started it at Europeans this year. They did it. Yeah. But anyway, their free dance has all of this sign language in it. And all season, they're not really telling anybody what the signs mean. And it's just kind of like, this is beautiful, but like, what's going on? So before the free dance, they put together a guide, an explanation to what each of the signs mean, and they release it into the media like center. So you can go and pick up a copy of it. I probably still had mine until my mom threw all my crap away when she cleaned out her house. But yeah.
So dramatic.
So they go out and they skate this program. It's not the best they've skated it this season. They skate it really well, like decently well.
But now you have a
Yeah.
rubric.
They get a good score, and they go into the lead.
Wait, but what did the guide say, Michelle?
It-
like, what?
it was-
what did the signs
I
mean?
don't have it anymore. I don't have it. But it was basically...
It was like peace.
Yeah, it was like
love,
talking about their love
universe.
story and trying to understand each other.
Got it.
Yeah.
I just wanted
Yeah.
the gist. I didn't need
Yeah.
the full. Okay.
I think they were kind of...
Yeah.
Like it was a dramatic effect, but did it feel like it was worth
I mean,
it?
yeah, I guess.
That
It
was
was-
the least I've
Because
ever
it's
heard.
like-
It
So
was probably
high-pitched.
more worth it when you didn't know what
Yeah.
it was. But then as soon as you realize it's like, where's the bathroom? Where can I find the cash register?
Can I park my car here?
Yeah. I mean, when they're doing like... Other things are a little more accessible. So even when we learn what the signs mean, it's like, I don't want to see like words written with your hands. I want to see you acting things out. But it's, it's innovative. It's interesting. Like, it's fine. They finally, for the first time, they've never won a medal at Worlds. Despite finishing second in the free dance, they win. They win their first world title.
win?
They win. They
Wow.
win. It was
God.
Cashed
un-
in all of those off-podium places.
The CIA was done with their program and finally got them all.
They win.
Oh, I forgot.
They
I
won.
didn't remember
And
them being.
it was
world
actually
champions.
really beautiful here at this world. They had a choir singing all the national anthems live, and so when they came out to get their world title, they had a choir sing "Le Marseillaise." I don't know if I'm saying that correctly to them, and it was beautiful. It was really nice. The story of the event, however, was not them finally winning their world title. I mean, it was great. We were all very happy for them. Like, thank God, finally, this is just the curse is broken. The winners of the free dance are the Canadian team, Virtue and Moir. They skate the most fluid, stunning free dance. It is like, it's to the umbrellas of Cherbourg. It's like built on their style of like young love, this effervescent, youthful romance. The thing about this is like, people see this, and this is the first time you really see someone skating to this level in the new scoring system. There's so much speed in and out of their elements. Their step sequences just disappear into the choreography. It's like the most integrated, technically complex, while effortless skating we've seen under the new judging system. And it sort of opens the doors to what people think is even possible in dance, possible under Code of Points. And I also want to mention, like, Marina Zueva, she was doing just magic for them. When she's, like, inspired, she always does good work, but when she's really inspired by her students, she can do something spectacular. Like the programs she did for Gordieva and Grinkov. It's just this amazing blend at, like, the Soviet era kind of balletic style that's based on beauty with this more modern acrobatic, like technical element and, high scoring style. But anyway, so they win the silver medal. That's their first world medal. And Khokhlova and Novitski, by the skin of their teeth, by literally 0.26 over Belbin and Agosto, they win the bronze medal. So we have a world podium of entirely new medalists. We had the same podium 2 years in a row, and now we have a completely new one.
That's exciting.
A couple weeks later, Belbin and Agosto announced that they are leaving Spielbond and Zueva. Spielbond has paired them up. He's coached them since they paired them up in '98. They're leaving, and they are going to Natalia Linachuk and Gennady Karpanasov, who are now based in Aston, Pennsylvania, near Delaware.
Mm-hmm.
And a few weeks later, Oksana Domnina and Maxim Shabalin announced that they too are going to Natalia Linichuk and Gennady Karponosov in Aston, Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And everyone in U.S. is like, in U.S. dance or U.S. skating is like, what the fuck? Because these two teams had a rivalry. I mean, they didn't get to play it out at Worlds, but like they've had a rivalry for the past 2 seasons. And Tanith men are like leaving Canton, where they are getting, they have so much competition. They want a coach that is like totally focused on them. And now they have to share this new coach with their strongest competition. So this is weird. But anyway, they hold a press conference at the rink. It's like, who holds a press conference at an ice rink in like June? But they did with Linichuk and Karponosov at both teams. And they're like, no, it's good for us to have competition. It's going to be fine. People are still side-eyeing this a little bit.
And
like,
it was not fine.
So Belbin and Agosto going to Linichuk some interesting stories come out of this. And like Tanith and Ben, especially Tanith, they're very like media literate and very, if they're saying something, it's like prepared, intentional. They're very professional and like they know how to behave with the media. And they start saying all this stuff that's just very interesting. So they talk about how Linichuk and Karponosov completely rehaul and retool their technique. And they basically learn all this new dance technique from them. Like there was something wrong with their technique before. And then...
Right. Yeah.
And then...
They're taking shots.
Yeah. Tanith Belbin spends a lot of time talking about her weight and her body condition. And she says that as soon as she gets there, the first thing Linichuk tells her is, you need to gain 10 pounds. You need to gain 10 pounds and develop some muscles in order to skate faster and more fluidly. When in figure skating has anyone ever been told to gain weight?
When has ever a Russian person turned to a thin American woman and go, you're too thin?
And this was also like they said this will give you more core strength so you can hold your positions better. So Ben has to do less work in the lifts. But Tanith keeps talking about this for the next 2 seasons there with Linichuk. This is like a recurring thing she's talking about, how she's working with a nutritionist, how like she started eating better and taking this Gennady has this stroking class that will like, kill you. It's like the hardest thing ever. And she does this and like her jeans stop fitting because she develops muscles in her legs. And people are paying attention to this because Tanith is saying it. It's just interesting. And then before Vancouver,
and she's bragging about her fat ass. My fucking huge ass doesn't fit in my fucking jeans.
Well, it was her size, but
my giant fucking tits don't fit in my fucking shirt anymore.
Yeah.
Tanith would never.
Yeah. And then she discloses before Vancouver that she was struggling with an eating disorder while she was in Canton. And she doesn't like point any fingers at anyone there, but it's like indirectly indicating that it's sort of an unsupportive training environment there, unhealthy. So anyway, going into the 2008-09 season, before the fall season starts, the top 2 teams from Worlds, Delobel, Schoenfelder, and Virtue Moir, announce their music, and they are skating to the same music. Of all the music in the world, they pick the same piece, and this piece is The Great Gig in the Sky by Pink Floyd.
Oh, I love this.
Yeah. Well... I mean, like I mentioned in the last episode, sometimes when skaters pick the same piece of music, I mean, this happened to Anasina Pezerot and Khokhlova Ovsyannikov in 1999. They both picked Carmina Burana. And Khokhlova was absolutely cursed by this. Like, her back injury prevented her from literally ever competing again. And something about these two, I'm not saying correlation is not causation. Both of these teams are absolutely cursed this year. I mean, bad things happen. Anyway. So, Virtue and Moir debut their free dance in the Skate Canada Performance Camp. No cameras on this, but people see this program and they come out talking about it like they have seen the most incredible thing ever. Like that the lifts are so innovative, the choreography.
They're right.
Yeah.
I just want to say that they're right.
But we haven't seen it. We don't get to see it. And then Virtue and Moir withdraw from the Grand Prix. And Tessa announces that she's been diagnosed with chronic exertional compartment syndrome. And she undergoes surgery for this in October. So this is an exercise-induced injury where the fascia, which is the tissue around your muscles, gets really tight. And so when you exercise, your muscles expand and there's nowhere for them to go. So then you have a lot of pain. So the surgery involved cutting into her calves and opening up the fascia so it gave her muscles more room to expand. It's a big surgery.
It sounds very painful.
Yeah.
It sounds insane. I never knew the extent of her shin injuries.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was just like a little massage.
Me too. I really thought she was getting some elbow grease. That's what I thought.
No.
I didn't know that they were
like literally cut her calves open. And I don't think she's ever shown.
Tessa, are you okay?
I don't think she's ever shown in detail the
awful.
incisions, but I think it was like bilateral incisions on the back of her calves. But I don't know for sure.
My fucking God.
So while she's off the ice recovering,
her muscles didn't fit in her
jeans.
It was like I was just gonna say it was like Tana not being able to fit into her jeans.
Yeah, basically.
But her jeans is her skin. My God, that's awful. I didn't realize the extent.
Her jeans, Genes.
Wow.
Good night, everyone.
So while she's recuperating, Scott practices with a sandbag. He like skates around with a sandbag at home. Tessa gets back on the ice in December. She has to like learn how to stroke again, to skate again. It's a difficult readjustment to the ice. We finally see their program at Canadian Nationals in 2000. It's 2009. It's amazing. It's amazing. You can really see that they're out of shape and that they're not trained in this program, but it is still amazing. There's a lift in it that where Scott is in a deep bent knee spread eagle, and Tessa stands on his leg, puts her knee on his shoulder, and is completely arms free. People are calling it the eagle because she's like flying, and then the team is like, no, we're Canadian. It's the goose. It's the goose. Yeah.
I love that. She's like, none of this American bullshit.
And I feel like this is Zueva is just making art for this team. This is like, we've never seen choreography like this before. It's incredible. Meanwhile, the other Great Gig in the Sky program, Delobel and Schoenfelder, are skating on the Grand Prix, and they have an amazing Grand Prix. Like, after winning the world title, all the nervousness and issues that they had, they were always a little bit accident prone, but it's just gone. They just shrug it off. They skate completely clean all season. They have this newfound confidence. They win both Grand Prix events. They win the Grand Prix final. And then in the gala, they're doing a lift, and you don't see anything. I rewatched the gala performance again for this. You don't see anything, but Isabel injures her shoulder in one of the lifts they do in the gala. And she goes home and gets it checked out, and she needs surgery. So she has arthroscopic surgery in early January 2009, and this team is out of Europeans and Worlds. They will not be defending their world title. I also want to mention one other thing that happened on the 2008 Grand Prix that is just, we're talking about lore, and this is the craziest thing that, Anyway, so 2008 Cup of Russia, the Americans, Moir Davis and Charlie White, are competing there. The original dance theme for the season is like 20s, and they're skating to Happy Feet.
Wait, is this
I
the
know where
program
this is going. Don't spoil it.
So they're in third after.
I was there.
They're in third after the compulsory dance. They go out to skate their original dance, and this Happy Feet music, it's like almost like circus music, the way it like builds, and it's. Charlie has 3 falls in the original dance. The first 2 are on twizzles, and these are like wild falls. Like, you can tell this man is not used to falling. The first 2 are on twizzles, and then he does this huge wipeout on a rocker in the midline steps. I mean, he is like wiping the ice. It's like, and with this carnival music playing, the replays are hilarious. No one on earth does replays as well as the world feed producer for Russian TV. I mean...
That's so true.
It's so true.
Yeah.
God, that's so true.
And Igor is like dismayed. He's like, he says fuck on the world feed. You see him turn around like he is just done. And the kiss and cry is great too, because you see Charlie just like fighting for his life. He's like having an out of body experience, trying to catch his breath in the kitchen,
really
kiss
is.
and cry. And then Meryl and Igor are like peeking at each other like, oh, LOL. And everyone...
Isn't Charlie such a mess?
This program produced one of the greatest figure skating images of all time. I sent it to you guys. But you have Meryl dressed as a flapper, very politely twizzling, and then there's just feet.
Like feet in the air, not feet on the ground. They were in the air.
Everyone was asking Igor afterward, like, is Charlie injured? What's wrong with him? And he's like, no, he was just trying to do everything he could do. Charlie talks about this experience afterward, and they were competing against both Domnina Shabalin and Khokhlova Novitski at this event. And he said he took the ice thinking, I'm going to beat those teams. I'm going to beat them. I'm coming for them. And that was different than his normal competitive mindset. And something about going on with that feeling of like attacking the other teams, it just threw him off. So he doesn't do that anymore. And the team actually skates well in the free dance. And poor Capellini and Lenotte, they were 4th in the compulsory. They were 3rd in the original dance. And Marilyn and Charlie were 8th. But still, Capellini and Lenotte finished 4th behind Marilyn and Charlie in the free dance. Like, this team fell 3 times, and you still can't beat them. Anyway. Yeah.
That's so rough.
I remember at that competition, I was like, Charlie, what? And he was like, don't finish that sentence. And I was like, you got to tell me, like, were you sabotaged? She's like, no, you're like the 5th person today to ask me if somebody like stole my skates and ruined my blades. And he's like, no, I just fell 3
times. Oh my God. You know, U.S. figure skating, like during the Get Up campaign was like, oh, if only that happened in 2019.
Yeah. And it's funny seeing Meryl react to it because she's like one of the chillest, most unflappable competitors. And she's just kind of like, oh God, this is happening. Okay, I'm going to keep going.
Oh, there's Charlie on the ice again. Oh, there he is again.
So anyway, I'll get back to Davis and White in a minute. But first I want to talk about 2009 Europeans. Domnina and Shabalin have been with Linichuk this season. And they've been skating okay. They were 2nd at the Grand Prix final behind Delobel and Schoenfelder. They go out to do their compulsory dance, and Max Staviyski has a really bad fall in the compulsory dance. You can tell this man is in pain. Like, he is just, it hurts. So they end up withdrawing, and Khokhlova and Novitski win. They win, they get a European title. Many people in ice dance, including Igor Spielban, are openly fangirling to the media during this time over Khokhlova and Novitski. How good they are, how amazing they can be, how adept they are at this new system. But the Russian Federation is still backing Domnina Shabalin for some reason. I mean, might have something to do with Natalia Linichuk. I don't know. But when Domnina and Shabalin are out, like when they're out of a championship event, Khokhlova and Novitski are like, you're on the podium, you're the best, here you go, this is our team. But when Domnina and Shabalin show up, Khokhlova and Novitski get like left outside like old IKEA furniture. They are just like, yeah, we don't poop. And that is what happens at Worlds. I want to talk about Domnina and Shabalin. I want to talk about their free dance briefly. They have this free dance this season is to the Adagio from Spartacus, and it has some cool lifts, but it is slow and it is labored, and you can just tell like they are just not trained. And Staviyski is just he's in pain. Like he can't straighten his leg, he can't bend it all the way. He's just anyway. Belbin and Agosto, they have an okay Grand Prix season. They're 2nd at both of their events. They end up missing the Grand Prix final because of Ben's back injury flaring up again. They have a free dance this season to Tosca, and I don't feel like the program is really them. It's kind of labored. It doesn't capitalize on their like carefree lightness. The original dance is better. It's Steppin' Out, and it's like Liza Minnelli singing. And Tanith wears like a little red beret. It's a lot more lighthearted. It suits them more. Belbin and Agosto also miss nationals because of Ben's back injury. So Davis and White show up and they win their first U.S. title. This is 2009 nationals. Davis and White this season have this exceptionally beautiful free dance to Samson and Delilah. And the first piece of the music is this vocal piece that Marina Zueva she found it and she held it for several years. I think like 6 years. Because she just didn't have the right team.
Really?
Yeah, the right team to give it to, and she gives it to them. Outside of Charlie's like disaster in Russia, this team is developing like a very like powerful, expressive style, reminiscent of, I would say, Anasina and Pezrot, and they're really skating up in competition and delivering like really cohesive performances. And so they like definitively win the U.S. title. It's a very strong moment for them. So we get to Worlds in LA in 2009, and it's kind of like what's going to happen here, because Khokhlova and Novitski are the European champions. Domnina Shabalin had this injury. Belbin and Agosto were not at the final or nationals. Like, what's going to happen? Domnina and Shabalin win the compulsory dance. And I will say, for all their other drama, they are really, really good at compulsory dances, especially Domnina. She's, like, amazing. Belbin and Agosto and Liza Minnelli win the original dance. And this is the first time Tanith and Ben have won a segment in like a world championship event. The free dance is not a good event. Domnina and Shabalin win the free dance despite their very slow, heavy program and their two-footed skating. Belbin and Agosto finished second in the free dance, and they are second overall. And they watch the scores come in, and you see them reacting to Domnina and Shabalin skating the way they do and beating them. And it's like, you could see it in their faces, like, what are we going to do? Like, when they made a deal with the devil. Like, you left your coaches from your previous coaches because they weren't favoring you, and now you're with this coaching team that's, like, putting their slow Russian team ahead of you at a U.S. Worlds.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad. And then there's like another bit of a controversy in third and fourth place. Virtue and Moir beat Davis and White at this event by 0.04 for a medal. And Davis and White skate after Virtue and Moir and Belbin and Agosto. And as their scores are coming up and they're going behind both of these teams, the crowd is pissed. I remember someone yelling, "How dare you?" And you can hear it on the feed as like Domnina and Shabalin are taking the ice. Virtue and Moir's free dance, they do their Pink Floyd free dance here, and it's so good. I mean, it's so good. But you can really see that if they had had more training, if they hadn't had the setback, this could have been a like Grishuk and Platov feeling begins moment for them. Like they could have completely won everything, and just it would have been a much bigger deal than it was. But like with their setbacks, they just really can't skate it to its full potential. Davis and White skate incredibly well. Their free dance is really good. The 0.04, the 400th of a point loss is really, really motivating for Charlie. In the end, it's probably good this happened because he is just like so fucking pissed off by this. He just thinks about this every single day for the whole next season. Like 400ths of a point. I can't let this happen to me again. And it's really motivating for them. After Worlds, the new world champion, Maxime Shabalin, spends 4 months in Germany rehabbing his knee.
Oh my God, he's like a part-time citizen.
And keep in mind, he had an injury to it. He had surgery on his right knee, and then his left knee is fucked up. So it's like it's like he was probably favoring his right knee, and that's how he injured the left. And then when he wants to favor the left, he has to go back to his injured right knee. It's just.
Does he have any cartilage left? Like he's. Oh my God.
It's bone on bone.
Bone on bone.
So after this Worlds, Isabel Delobel announces that she is pregnant.
What?
For real, or with one of those Bulgarian fake babies?
She's pregnant for real. She announces she is pregnant for real. It is unplanned, but she's going to keep it. And the team still intends to compete in Vancouver. So it's unconfirmed.
So how far along is she? I mean, when's she due?
She's due in October.
She's due
at the opening ceremonies.
She's due 4 months before the Olympics. Less than 4.
Etchi doesn't ever actually confirm this, but it's thought that she was taking antibiotics from her surgery, and antibiotics can interfere with your birth control, and that might have been what happened.
Yeah.
So
I love that rampant speculation. It's probably true.
So she trains until like the 7th month of her pregnancy, I think like through late July.
This makes me ill thinking of training that late. I like worked out, but like everyday figure skating training and another person touching my body.
Your partner, not even your like off ice partner, like your on ice partner.
Who is her off ice partner with this baby?
He's I want to say like he's a summer Olympian. Forget his name. They end up getting married and they have another child after.
Do you think, Ashley, it would have been better if you had to be touched by someone, if it was somebody like that you had like a working relationship
Yes,
with?
I would not want Alex to touch me.
No.
Oh, he's Olympic bronze medalist in Nordic combined. Ludovic Roux.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Talented.
In October, she has a couple falls in training in her 7th month, so they decide, okay, we're just going to stop for now.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
In her 7th month. My God.
I see. My thing is just like at a certain point, is that like, are you really training anything?
Yeah.
Like,
and
none
she
of it's
also
real.
had to come back from her shoulder surgery too. So like she had this injury she had to come back from, and she's pregnant. So she gives birth in October to a son. His name is Lois, Lois, Lois Roux.
Yeah. Lois. That's fun to say.
It is fun.
Yeah. So that takes me to part 2.
Wait, can I have a pause before part 2? Unless you're about to get to this, but since we're on the topic of personal lives, are there any other interpersonal relationships amongst these teams in this quad that we should know about that are relevant?
Sure. So Oksana Domnina is in an off-ice relationship with Roman Kostomarov, the reigning Olympic champion. They've been together for a long time. She was also a bridesmaid in his first wedding, which I know is campy to say, but they had pictures on their website for years, so it's like... and
oh my God, always a bridesmaid, never a mistress.
Yeah. And
always a bridesmaid and a mistress.
Tanith Belbin and Charlie White are in a relationship. So the U.S. teams are like duking it out, but they're also dating.
Okay.
Tanith and Charlie.
Yeah. And I'll talk about him later on, but Tessa, I think at 2009 she was still dating him, was dating Marina Zaeva's son, Fedor Andreev. So she's her favorite team and dating her son. Anyway, okay, I think those are the only part in our personal relationships I can at the moment. I think Scott Moir was dating Jessica Dubé at the time.
That's right. Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Who's Jessica Dubé?
She was a
Canadian pair skater.
Okay.
Girl. Yeah.
You'll learn in Paris
We
lore.
haven't recorded the Bears lore yet.
She's famous in pairs, and you're gonna be like, it's like squeamish what she's
Speaking
famous
of violent
for.
incidents, speaking of soft tissue injuries, I would rather have every soft tissue injury in this podcast than the one she had.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
You sweet summer child.
You have something to look forward to.
Yeah. Like I'm dreading it more than looking forward to it.
Now back to Loireau.
Yeah, wait. Yeah, exactly. Okay, wait.
He sounds like a DJ.
Back to... Loireau does sound like a DJ name that like one of the like Italian boys
dancers
would use. You know?
Mm-hmm. That's so true.
Okay, what's chapter 2, Michelle?
A very old Russian style.
Okay.
I'm intrigued.
So going into the Olympic season, fall 2009, both of Natalia Linichuk's teams are messed up. Domnina Shabalin, with his knee injuries and issues, and all the time Domnina has spent away from him, not training with him. And Belbin and Agosto, Ben is still having back injuries. He's at the point where he's able to compete through it, but he's very much like, hobbling along. So Domnina and Shabalin missed the Grand Prix. Belbin and Agosto, they win both of their Grand Prix events, but then they miss the final because Tanith has an impacted wisdom tooth. And we don't see Domnina Shabalin compete at all until Russian Nationals. And at home in Pennsylvania, Shabalin is training with his knee in a brace. He's like in practice with a brace on his knee. And in competition, you can see it under his pants. He has a brace under his knee. But we'll get to that when we see them in competition. Davis
I was
and White.
about to go, Michelle, you're seeing what under his pants?
So
I'll stop.
Davis and White win the Grand Prix final. They have a great Grand Prix season, and they are ready very early. They debut their programs at Nebelhorn, and they are just great. So the original dance theme is folk dance, and they have this Indian-themed original dance. They work with an Indian dancer in Michigan. And this program is very like star making for them. It's like you really see them like their characters and their personalities in a way you haven't really before with this team. And this program goes viral on YouTube in India. It has like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of views. And then their free dance is Phantom of the Opera. And when this is first announced, people are just like, what? Because it just feels like not special for a team that was very, very special and had a very special season. But the program in the end is great. The other thing that's a little bit like interesting about it is that their training mates, Madison Chalk and Greg Zerline, had a Phantom of the Opera free dance the year before and won Junior Worlds with it. So, I mean, if you're training in Canton, you have to listen to this all the fucking time. Right. It's like, you think we're sick of Phantom of the Opera. I can't imagine being there and dealing with this. But Marilyn Charlie's Phantom of the Opera program is phenomenal. It is like blow you back in your seats, powerful. It's really good. It has some really stunning lifts in it. It's a good vehicle for them. So we get to the U.S. Championships, and Belbin and Agosto show up this time, and Davis and White are there. And it is a circus, and the circus is all on the Spielbahn and Zaeva side. Like, Marina and Igor are at practice. They have a team in like every practice. They're coaching like half of the field. But their eyes at all times are on Belbin and Agosto. When Tanith and Ben are on the ice, Marina and Igor are watching them. And like, we can all see this. It's just like, you guys are so focused and so worried about this. Zueva goes into the mix zone and like holds court like with all these reporters, telling them that Tanith and Ben have a very old Russian style.
Ooh, shots fired.
Yeah, dragging the changes Linachuk made to their skating, dragging their programs. And then I remember standing there, and I don't remember who it was, but one of the reporters was like, do you miss them? Do you miss coaching them? And Marina was like, yeah, I miss them. Okay. Like, what's she going to say? Like, no, I'm glad they're gone.
I mean, she clearly does if she feels the need to go and insult them in the mix zone.
Yeah, I think she was upset seeing all of her work undone, you know, and the audacity of Linachuk thinking she could beat her. And keep in mind, Linachuk and Zueva trained together under Yelena Tchaikovskaya in the 70s. They had the same coach. They were training mates. Zueva retired to become a choreographer, and Linachuk went on to, like, win the Olympics and, you know, become a very politically connected.
It's ancient beef.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it just still feels really personal.
Yeah. So this season, Belbin and Agosto have an Ave Maria free dance. It's a bit of a different style for them. It's very intense and lyrical. I feel like it's not really their personalities, but it's less so than their Tosca program was. It has really nice lifts in it. They perform it really well. The biggest issue I think I have with it is the costumes. I mean, there is so much extraneous fabric for two.
It's insane.
It's so true.
Like thin, attractive people. They are like
yards
in garbage
of
bags of like,
I mean, these
illusion
costumes
material.
are the reason that Joanne Fabrics is now under, because it
otherwise would have gone under 5 years previously.
Natalia Linachuk moved back to Russia a couple of years ago, and that's probably what did Joanne Fabrics in.
100%. That's why the Aston branch of Joanne Fabrics is famously.
Well, and Yuzu retired, so there was just two.
Yeah, the fabric business really has taken some hits.
So true.
They've lost their best customers.
Yeah. So Ben looks like Elvis. Like Elvis at the end when he was just covered in white fabric.
Well, you think Ave Maria, I think Elvis Presley.
So Davis and White definitively beat them in all three segments. And they defeat Belbin and Agosto. They win their second U.S. title. Belbin and Agosto are second. And second-year senior team, Emily Samuelson and Evan Bates, are third. And those three teams are named to the Olympic team. So,
and this is the first of Evan's Olympics.
Well, Evan was actually on the junior circuit with Charlie back in the day. They were all at Junior Worlds together, like, I think 2006. Like
with Emily?
Yeah. So Charlie posted that picture recently, or a picture of them together recently, and it was like 19 years ago. Look at us at Junior Worlds, and like,
don't say that, Charlie.
Okay, so meanwhile at Europeans, which once again is happening the same week, Domnina and Shabalin are skating their programs, and we saw them compete at Russian Nationals. But, like, not a lot of people were watching that. I was watching it, but, like, the international media was not paying attention to this, okay? When they skate these programs at Europeans, people are just like, what the fuck? And they get more media attention than anyone could ever dream of for their original dance. So their folk dance that they chose is Aboriginal dance. And it doesn't seem like this is Aboriginal dancing. It's like a caveman racist parody. Like it's like this. They have this like kind of racist monkeyish gestures and interactions.
Yes.
And Max Shabalin is in blackface. Like he has his face painted dark, and they are both in full body bodysuits to make it look like they're in loincloths and with like leaves. And so there's like illusion fabric on their legs and their midsections, but Shabalin's is dark brown. And this is not a very complicated program. It is all a gimmick. It is a gimmick, just to be ridiculous. And they're like playful character interactions, like to mask the fact that there is no complexity in it at all. And that he's so injured.
And you can tell now mentally injured by going out there and doing this like racist vaudeville. Monkey man. It's the most racist thing I've ever.
And it's also like not, you can't even say, oh, it's like of the time. Like, no. This was racist for the time.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like David Duke did the choreography.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah.
It's like early Disney days.
Who did do the choreography?
Natalia Linichuk.
Yeah. Okay.
Famous Aboriginal dancer, Natalia Linichuk.
Oh my god.
I don't think they worked with anyone on this that has any ties to Aboriginal culture in any capacity.
There's simply no way.
Yeah.
There's simply no
Like,
way.
Where did they ever talk about getting the inspiration from like a movie or anything, or they just sort of made this up?
I think they claimed that they did some research, but they didn't really
But
point
it
to
was
anything.
bad research.
I remember reading online, someone pointed out a piece of like a modern dance company had this kind of really, I don't know, interesting choreography, and they were like, "This is what Natalia Linichuk took inspiration from." And I watched it, and I could see some of it. It was just this like French company doing this very experimental movement. I could maybe see it. I don't know. Yeah, there was an Australian.
Didn't translate.
Yeah, there was an Australian.
But were they wearing blackface?
No, they were not.
Yeah, see.
There was an Australian team that did an Aboriginal dance this season, and they had an actual Aboriginal like dancer choreograph it for them. It doesn't look anything like Domnina and Shabalin's program.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's just like it goes back to like you can tell when it's like there's more thought behind it because the Indian dance program by Cheryl and Marley, good night, by Meryl and Charlie. That's why it was so appreciated by like so many Indian people who had never seen it before. It felt like they were doing it in such a respectful way.
Just like Meryl's head movements and the way that Charlie, like, he had his little imaginary flute and the way they moved their bodies and, like, the arm positions they did. It was clearly choreographed by, like, an Indian dance choreographer, and they were doing it. I don't know that you could lend Aboriginal dance to ice dancing at this level in a way that makes sense. It's like, I don't know. Maybe you could, but this is not good. And this becomes...
Not everything translates to the ice. Yeah.
Yeah. And this becomes like a hugely viral story. I remember my mom showed me a story on the page of Yahoo News. Like she was on like Yahoo for her mom email. And there was a headline on there. I mean, it's like, you know, conflict in the Middle East. Russian team do racist Aboriginal program.
Yes.
It was huge.
It was so
the more
mainstream.
things change, the more they stay the same.
Yeah, there you go. Their free dance is set to music from The Double Life of Veronique, and in the program, Oksana Domnina is wearing ropes on her costume, and not decorative ones. Like, these are ropes that actually support her body that Shabalin lifts her and swings her around by. It's so gimmicky, and I feel like this was also something to assist with lifting because, again, his knees are fucked. This is banned the next year by the ISU, like immediately banned. You cannot swing someone by their costume. So at this Europeans,
which is that sentence is hilarious. You cannot swing a woman by her costume.
It's like Natalia Linichuk with this like trying to package this team is forcing the ISU to make up rules that they like never even considered because they're so ridiculous.
Right. The fact that had to be explicitly stated
it's like
at
our
any
current
point
political
is
climate.
Fucking insane. So true.
It's so
true.
it's so
so
ice
true.
dance. It's like you have to tell them what they can't do, or they will do
or
anything.
they'll fucking do it.
They'll do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they will paint their faces any color that they want, and they will
You
swing
cannot
their partners.
swing a woman by ropes on the ice in competition.
Get off your
Only.
knees and stop flipping your
sister's
sister's skirt.
So at this Europeans, Domnina and Shabalin win the compulsory dance. Again, it's their strong suit. But they are second behind the Italian team of Federica Faella and Massimo Scali in both the original dance and the free dance. But they win the event thanks to their lead in the compulsory dance. Not suspicious at all. And it makes people wonder, like, could we have an entirely North American Olympic podium? Because, like, this team barely beat Faella and Scali. Like, we might be able to see this happen in Vancouver, where we have 3 North American teams on the podium. So Delobel and Schoenfelder, meanwhile, they are back on the ice as of October. They're training. They don't do a single competition. They don't even go to nationals. Nothing. They do a test skate in February, right before the Olympics start. And the French Federation, like, so they can be monitored, and the French Federation puts out a press release after this test skate. I just have an excerpt from it. The couple have already won their incredible challenge. Only a few months after the birth of her baby son, Isabelle Delobel is already back at the highest level. With only a few days left before the Olympic Games, both athletes brilliantly skated all 3 dances in one day and without difficulty, proving they are in perfect physical condition. The aesthetic and emotional quality of their performance, especially in the free dance, puts them back, to everyone's surprise, in the contest for the Olympic title.
Sure.
Feels very out of shape to me.
Yeah. The other weird thing.
That's what my press release would say.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah. So the other weird thing that happens shortly before the Olympics is, so at the time there were 2 different you do one compulsory dance in the competition, but there are 2 different ones being competed throughout the season. And the ISU does a draw ahead of the event to decide which one. And so they do the draw for Vancouver and they choose Tango Romantica. The other compulsory dance this season is the Golden Waltz, which is much more difficult than the Tango Romantica. And tons of people are saying the ISU did this deliberately because the Golden Waltz would be too hard on Shabalin's fucked up knee. It's being said. And the ISU is so offended by people saying this, they issue a press release explaining, like, no, this draw was done fairly and correctly, and this was just a chance.
I want to know how this draw is happening. Like, is there a hat and someone's just like pulling it out? Like, how is this happening?
Something
Probably
like
just
that
like the
in
draw
Lausanne.
for skating, for like
Yeah.
skating order.
Where is it happening?
I think it happens in Lausanne because it's a few weeks before the events. It's chosen. Like, I don't think at this point they were doing it at the event. But I can't say for sure. But for the Olympics, they did it a little bit in advance. I mean, it was probably Natalia Linachuk putting 2 different pieces of paper in the hat that both said Tango Romantica on it.
Right, exactly. It's like just one option.
But it still happened.
Yeah. So as soon as this is announced, this free dance, Marina Zueva invites her old coach, Yelena Chekhovskaya, to Canton to work with her 2 teams. Now, Chekhovskaya and her students, Pahomova and Gorshkov, invented the Tango Romantica. So this is another, press opportunity. Like, we brought the creator of the dance to us. And she watched our team skate it and said how good they were. And she gave them feedback. And, this is just like, don't fuck with our scores in Vancouver. I want to emphasize at this point, going into this Olympics, like, we truly did not know what was going to happen. Because there's what should happen, and then there's, like, what do you expect to happen based on ice dance politics? Because we had seen, like, at Europeans and at Worlds the year before, Domnina and Shabalin not skating well and winning these events. And we saw Davis and White and Virtue and Moir, like, skating relatively well and being held behind these teams. And so it's just kind of like, are they really going to do it? Like, are we going to get to this event? Are they going to let these North American teams win? Or is it just going to be, a joke? Like, who knows? So anyway, we get to Vancouver. Delobel and Schoenfelder show up. They look okay in practices. They clearly have not been training as much as they would have liked. They're not as good as they were in, like, fall 2008, but they have good programs and whatever. And they have a free dance choreographed by their former training mates, Dubray and Lausanne. And they're practicing in these very plain black costumes in their free dance. Delobel has a strapless, like, black top with a black skirt, and Schoenfelder is just in a solid black outfit. And they tease that there's going to be a surprise in the free dance. And it's going to have something to do with their costumes.
She's pregnant.
I was just going to say, damn it.
Yeah. So we get to the competition. Domnina and Shabalin skate pretty well in the compulsory dance. I have to say, Domnina wears a backwards red suit jacket at this event that is, like, the coolest costume I've ever seen. It is so great. And I have to say something nice about them, but that she deserves that. That was, like, it was beautiful. They win.
It's okay. You're allowed to say something nice about them.
They win the compulsory dance. And when they come into the kiss and cry for their scores, they wear these blankets over their shoulders. Oksana has one, Max has one, and Natalia Linachuk has one.
Yes.
So when they arrived in Vancouver, they met with leaders from the First Nations, which is the, like, Native peoples group in Canada. They met with them and they exchanged gifts. Like, they brought them Russian cultural artifacts, gifts, and they received these blankets from the leaders. So it's like, oh, we made up. We're totally in the clear, like, because we respect Native peoples. And look, we got these blankets to show for it.
That's not how this works.
Yeah.
Quite,
They also like go into the mix zone at one point and say, we didn't mean to offend anyone. This was our idea, this program, and we weren't out to make fun of anybody. But it's like, maybe you didn't mean to, but
you still are.
Yeah. So anyway, and Linichuk also, she thanks the media for all the free publicity for her team. She's like, nobody's talking about anybody else but my team coming into this Olympics.
As she has like black shoe polish in her hand about to help her students get on the ice. They look like antique pepper and salt shakers that you're not supposed to buy anymore. Like, she's insane.
I'm thinking about how we often show Maddie backstage putting on Evan Bates's makeup, and I'm just imagining Linichuk with her hands in the polish, like rubbing it on Shabalin's
like a vat of black paint.
It's truly wild. That is not something a blanket on your shoulder can help
Whatever
with.
you're doing right now, listening, even if you're actively driving, I need you to pick up your phone and look at these outfits. They're fucking insane.
Yeah. Look them up from 2010 Europeans.
Yeah,
Or just put in Shabalin Aboriginal and it'll come up.
It's going to come up immediately.
Yeah, you might be thinking, like, I'm sure that they're being a bit dramatic. And
No.
we are,
No.
but a little bit.
Not
No.
really.
Well, because there's not black paint. It's just brown paint.
Yes. And there's bones in her hair.
It's like when Jenna Marbles did the 100 layers of things. It's like this 100
Yeah.
layers of spray tan.
Yeah, it's very like Betty Rebel does blackface.
Yes.
My
Yes.
favorite episode of The Flintstones,
Yeah.
by the way. It's so good.
Yeah.
Blackface Betty.
So after the compulsory dance, Domnina and Shabalin win, but they only have a 1-point lead. Virtue and Moir are right behind them. They skate really well. The whole crowd is clapping for them, which is like unusual in a compulsory dance. Davis and White are third. Belbin and Agosto are fourth. In the original dance, we're all waiting to see, like the Aboriginal program. Shabalin comes out, and he is not in as much blackface as before. He has changed the color of the flesh tone material in his costume to a color closer to his skin tone. And on NBC, we did a side-by-side of, like, the blackface costume. There you go. Versus there you go. There it is. Yeah.
There's a before and an after.
Oh
and
my God. Wait, the before is insane.
It's insane because it actually is black.
I mean, like,
So
that's
dark.
like African-American flesh tone material.
yeah.
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 Oh my.
He didn't even paint his face as dark as the costume.
No, then it's like you look tacky for so many reasons, but you look tacky and uncommitted.
Yeah.
Right. Blend.
Yeah.
Blend.
And this program's still a mess. And blessedly, they get dumped. Not dumped as much as they should be for it, but they're in third going into the free dance. Virtue and Moir stay in the lead. Davis and White are in second. Davis and White's original dance, their Indian themed program, is just, it plays so well. And it's so interesting comparing the two because you have like, respectful, mature, and excellent versus like trash. Sorry, that's a harsh word, but
It's
No,
not,
not
but it's
trash.
like
That's trash.
cultural appreciation.
versus appropriation.
Versus appropriation.
Yeah. And Davis and White's dance choreographer actually came to Vancouver to watch them compete this. And so she was in the crowd and,
Oh, cool.
Domnina and Shabalin did not have an Aboriginal person in the crowd there.
Well, they
supporting
had
them.
blankets.
Yeah, they had blankets.
And they gave them a bottle of Paco Rabanne cologne at the airport and said, "We good?
Yeah.
We good? Okay."
That was the cultural gift.
Yeah.
Bottle of vodka and some cologne.
Here's a bottle of Svedka. Rub it into any wounds that we've created. We're so sorry.
Emotional or otherwise.
Ooh, I'm
Sorry.
actually cold. Can we steal your blankets? We gotta go.
So I haven't talked a lot about Virtue and Moir this year. Virtue
I've
and Moir,
noticed.
yeah. So Virtue and Moir, they do well in the Grand Prix. They're like second behind Davis and White at the final. They're still not quite in the shape they were in 2008. Tessa, she claims that she's fully recovered. They're training at full speed, but she also has a person traveling with her all the time that is like just responsible for like making sure that she's not having issues with this condition. And then Igor Spielban told our commentator in confidence at Skate America that she was too injured to train as much as she and Scott would need to be the best in the world. So we're just kind of like, what's going on? Like, we think she's injured, but they're like not saying it. But they're skating pretty well. They're skating well. So they have 2 Gordieva and Grinkov themed programs because Zueva says that they are the Gordieva and Grinkov of ice dance. So their original dance it's flamenco, and it's to Farukas, which is a piece that she gave Gordieva and Grinkov for their short program that they skated at the 94 Olympics when they won their second title. And their free dance is selections from Mahler's Symphony No. 5. And this is the music that Ekaterina Gordieva skated to in her tribute to her husband, Sergei Grinkov, after he died.
I didn't realize
she did this
that.
solo performance, and this was the music she skated to. And she only performed this program like twice. It was like a very special. And Zueva said of Virtue and Moir's program, it is how a man and a woman should feel about each other, a joyful celebration of that feeling. It's another program on young love and their connection. And this is like an absolutely beautiful, exquisite program. I mean,
it's insane.
The patience they skate it with, the connection between them, the cleanliness of their elements. It's just magic. And they skate it really well in Vancouver. And they win. Canada's first ever Olympic title in ice dance. The first ever Olympic title by a North American team. They are the youngest winners of this event ever, both of them. And they're the first team to win the Olympics in their debut since ice dance was added to the games in 76.
Wow.
Yeah. So Davis and White, they also skate really well. They stay in second place and they win the silver medal. So it's the second consecutive silver medal for the U.S. at the Olympics in dance. Domnina and Shabalin swung by ropes into third place, and they win the bronze medal. And poor Belbin and Agosto are fourth in every segment and fourth overall. Yeah.
That sucks.
And it feels wrong. It's just like...
Yeah.
It almost feels like Linachuk was like, yeah, of course we'll take you. Like, come here. And she found a way to get them on the podium, her Russian team.
Well, yeah, she says that to Tanith and Ben and sabotages them.
I really thought, like, Tanith and Ben have they had such an effervescent style, the two of them, and I wondered if she was the right coach for them, because I felt like the 2 free dances she gave them didn't capitalize on, like, their chemistry and their performance ability and their just, like, lightness. I always thought, like, Julin would have been a better choice because he was good at that kind of frothiness with Novka Kostomarov, but he was in Moscow by that point, and it's a big ask to move to Moscow, I guess.
Is it that much different than Aston? Let's get real.
Yeah, I don't know. I actually haven't been to Aston, so I'll take your word for it.
Well, I was living right down the street at that time.
Yeah.
Would you say
Moscow.
it was different than Moscow?
I would say
it's a little warmer.
Very much so.
It's
a little warmer,
more
in
humidity.
people and place.
I remember Max Shabalin saying how hard a time he had with the food in the U.S. and that we didn't have kefir in the grocery store, which I guess is like something that he drinks all the time in Russia.
Oh, we do now.
No, we have it everywhere. Oh, you can even get it at your local Vons or Ralph's, Kroger even.
I can get it at my Stop and Shop.
So you may wonder what happened to Delobel and Schoenfelder.
I always wonder.
Yeah.
What was the big surprise?
Well, they were 6th overall. They didn't just right out the gate with their compulsory dance. They were a little tight, and they just didn't skate maybe as well as they're capable of. And, again, they're a little bit undertrained. The surprise in their free dance, they come out, and they are in the same costumes they've been practicing in. And I remember saying to Patricia, who's someone working the event with me, like, those are the costumes they've been practicing in. Like, what's going on? She's like, I don't know. So they do their free dance in these costumes. Mid-program, they stop center ice. Isabel looks the judges dead in the eye, and her strapless top, she pulls it down to her waist.
It's a maternity top.
She starts breastfeeding on the ice.
Revealing a sparkled bustier underneath. But, like, the way this is done, and, like, a strapless top, the way, it's like, are you stripping? Like, it's just like, boop. Schoenfelder also...
So you feel like it wasn't, like, the wow factor
No,
you were looking
and it wasn't
for?
as tasteful as it could have been. It was just kind of like what's happening? Because, I mean, it's all, her entire top is illusion fabric with sparkles on a bustier, and then there's this black fabric that covers it. So when she pulls it down, like, I don't really think you know what's happening.
It
No,
does.
she's
It
taking her
seems
top
Little
off.
Girl's Gone
A little bit.
wild
And
for a hot second.
It was like that Tracy Wilson was like really surprised, taken aback by it, by like, whoa, when that happened.
Yeah.
Olivier also unzipped his shirt and revealed a panel of sparkles, but like it's lost in the shock of the other.
Of a mother bearing her breasts mid-ice.
Yeah. And then in 11th place at this event are Samuelson and Bates, who I mentioned earlier. And this event was really notable for the way it affected Evan Bates. Evan Bates is like activated being at the Olympics. He is absolutely obsessed with this experience, and he is so motivated by it.
Yes.
So that team actually goes on to Worlds, and they finish 9th at Worlds, and they're in the top 10 at Worlds. Domnina, Shabalin, Belbin, and Agosto do not go to Worlds. Virtue and Moir win. They win their first world title. Davis and White are second, and Fiala and Scali are third. And Domnina goes home to Moscow, and she gets pregnant like immediately. Like she is so done with skating. She has a baby in January. Shabalin also gets married like really quickly. Yeah.
She really was done. She said, "Impregnate me now, so I can never go back to."
I think she was pregnant before Worlds even happened. Like,
Wow. I mean, no wonder he was swinging her from rope. She was in heat.
Ew.
That's the ew. You get that with ew.
That is like so gross to me.
any mention of heat.
Oh, I thought that was funny.
It's funny in a gross way.
So this is a huge changing of the guard in ice dance. And you have these two North American teams from Spielbahn and Zueva's camp, first and second at the Olympics and at Worlds. It's like the old powers are retreating, and this new training center is on top of the dance world, where they should be. They've earned it. So that takes me to part 3. Mom and dad are getting a divorce.
Okay. I'm feeling triggered.
Well,
I am also feeling triggered because I was talking to a dancer during this time, flirting, and was very stressed out because they were very stressed out at this time.
Oh, I meant because my parents are divorced, but you know, sure.
Oh, but however bad that divorce was, it will not compare to this one.
This was bad.
No, it won't.
did your parents sue each other after they divorced?
No.
Okay.
Oh no, I know this is messier than my parents. I was being funny.
Did your parents have 100 children from all over the world?
I'll write that down to ask them.
Yeah.
Did you have 100 children?
No, they just had Sarah and her little brother. So in the 2010 off season, there are a lot of changes. The big one is the ISU gets rid of the compulsory dance. Totally. Ice dance becomes a 2-event discipline. And so the ISU creates this thing called a short dance, which replaces the original dance, and it will have a whole pattern in 2 segments of a select compulsory dance, and then original choreography in it set to a prescribed rhythm or rhythms. Also, after the Olympic season, Tessa Virtue reveals that she was dealing with a recurrence of her compartment syndrome throughout the season, and that she was in excruciating pain to the point where they had to keep track of how many steps she took off the ice because she didn't want to aggravate it any further.
Like, you said, like, people suspected that she was not able to fully train.
Well, it's funny because like the team decided they weren't going to make that. They weren't going to like let anyone know that's their story was going to be we're healthy. And I remember like asking them in the mix zone in Vancouver about it, and Tessa said like we're actually glad that this happened to us because it brought us closer together and showed us who we are as a team. And I immediately was like, you're lying. You're lying to me. That is like not come. No one. You could have had like the greatest like world title ever with your incredible program. Like please. Anyway. So she has to have.
Can I just say this? I hate when athletes do this, where like they lie, and then something good happens and they have success, and then after the fact they're like, "Yeah, actually, I was in excruciating pain. This was fucking awful. I was on the verge of death every single day, and I did it." Like it normalizes training in pain in a way that's so bad.
I don't know. I like this a lot better than you don't tell anyone and then you have a bad result and immediately, oh, I've been injured.
Yeah.
Oh, that's annoying.
That is worse to me. It's more annoying.
It's like self-preservation where like you have to tell yourself that like you're going to make it through. And then when you reflect upon it, you're like, oh, I guess it really was that bad. Like, I don't even think that you're really in tune to how bad it is until you have time away from it.
If you're counting your steps.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're like, this is just what it takes. It's not that bad. It could be worse. I could be allowed less steps. Like when
Carry
you're
me
training.
off the ice. I'm not allowed dry land steps.
I do think a lot of things that athletes do sound normal to them. And then when it's like written down in a press story, you're like, what?
Yeah.
Totally.
And then only then do sometimes they realize, oh,
That was kind of fucked up.
That was insane, that thing I did.
yeah.
So Tessa has another surgery, and she misses the entire Grand Prix season and Canadian Nationals. We don't see Tessa and Scott again until Four Continents in the next season.
Okay.
Just wanted a quick mention of Samuelson Bates. They leave their longtime coaches, Chesenchenko and Nechaeva, after this season, after the Olympic season, and they go to Spielmann and Zueva. I think this move is, like Evan is really motivated. He's like, we want to start moving up. Like he's so inspired by the Olympics. Like, let's go. They're preparing for the new season, and they have a weird accident where Evan is bringing Emily down from a lift behind his back. Her toe pick goes into his boot and cuts his Achilles tendon. And so he has to have surgery.
I forgot about this.
They missed the whole, and this is the second blade on tendon injury that this team has. They're just a little cursed.
I was at that Junior Worlds where he cut her hand tendon.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess if you're going to have an accident like that, it's best to do it in Oberstdorf, where like they have really good surgeons. And
that's so true.
Well,
all
that's
the
where
surgeons are there.
every bum athlete we've been talking about has shipped themselves to is to Germany.
Yeah, it's where Max and his knees live. Yeah.
Well, he has knees that, if you look at them closely, say "made in Germany."
Yeah. I don't know if they want credit for that.
Maybe not.
Look at the way he used them.
Yeah.
Yeah, Max no knee Shabalin.
Mm-hmm. So Emily and Evan sit out the whole season. Emily actually trains with Scott Moir while Tessa is recovering. So he has someone to skate with this time and not a sandbag. And they finally get back together to training in spring 2011. But things aren't the same as they were. And without competing again or whatever, they split up. And Evan eventually teams up with the 2009 World Junior Champion, Madison Chalk. And so Chalk Bates are a new team that Spielmann and Zueva are coaching in the 2011-2012 season. But let me get back to the 2010-2011 season. So 2011 Worlds Davis and White are like winning everything this year because Virtue and Moir are out. Davis and White win the Grand Prix final. They win nationals. They're having a great time. They have a really complicated tango free dance this season. It is fucking hard. And you see it at the beginning of the season. They start out with this. It's like a lot of work for them to be able to like compete it confidently and without a lot of effort behind it in competition. But they do. By the time they get to Worlds, like this is just like, they can do it. It's crazy to watch now because it's just like, how are you guys doing that? Like it's so athletic. And this World was delayed and moved to Moscow because of the tsunami in Japan. It was supposed to be in Japan in March and it's moved to April. So Davis and White show up and they win their first world title with this program over a less trained Virtue and Moir. Virtue and Moir tried to come back to competition at Four Continents. Tessa had a cramp in her leg during the free dance, I think it was in her calf related to her compartment syndrome, and they withdrew mid free dance. So they come to Worlds and they finally get to skate their free dance all the way through. And this is where they first do the hip hip chin chin program. And even though they only skate this free dance once, all season, all the way through, it is a huge hit. It's so popular. And that music just becomes so popular in skating, as you know. And they convert it. They're so happy with their free dance, and they don't really get to use this. They convert it into an original dance for the next season because the music lends itself to the rhythms that are chosen. And at this World, it's also notable that 3 teams from Canton sweep the podium. Davis and White win, Virtue and Moir are second, and then a brother-sister team, Maya and Alex Shibutani, finish third by a whisker, after the French team, Pechelot and Borzat, that are in third going into the free dance, both fall in their step sequence. So Shibutanis, and the Shibutanis are in their first senior season. The season before, they missed the podium at Junior Worlds, and now they're on the world podium, which is crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they get a bronze medal by 0.25 over the French team. And it really becomes apparent at this Worlds just how far ahead of the rest of the world the Spielmann and Zueva teams are. The 2 top teams, Virtue and Moir and Davis White, score 180 plus. The Shibutanis are at 163, and then everyone else below them is 160s or lower.
150s?
Yeah, well, 160 minus. Like 163 are the Shibutanis, and then everyone goes down into the low 160s and then 150s. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
180.
Yeah.
Whew.
And Virtual Moir scored like 181, having not competed at all. It was just, it's so like Davis and White and Virtue and Moir are head and shoulders ahead of the rest of the ice dance field. Like no one can compete against them, and no one can compete against them. Like their consistency, their ability to consistently earn level 4s in competition, and just the way to put out these complete programs. No coaches can kind of get their teams to this point. And you also see like this lower level Spielbahn Zueva team, Shibutanis kind of float up to the top at this Worlds because they are trained this way and they can execute elements this way. And Spielbahn and Zueva like have a formula that's really unbeatable. Like Spielbahn has this technical mastery of the scoring system and the elements, and he can train the team so that the level of their elements is undeniable in competition. And then Zueva, brings this incredible creative output and choreography and the artistry to these teams. And she trains them really hard. That's the other thing. These teams train really hard. In this era, you don't see other teams executing the elements as well in competition. And I think it comes down to an issue of how hard they're trained, how many run-throughs they do, like how much power they have. They practice going in and out of these elements, like when they're running these programs. And simultaneously, every team and their mom in the world is trying to come to Michigan to be coached by Spielbahn and Zueva. They want to be in this mold. They want to be taught how to do it. So in the next season, 2011-2012 season, Virtue and Moir are healthier. Tessa has a recurrence of her issue, but she chooses not to have surgery for it. And because it's like the surgery like takes so much time out of their training.
Yeah.
So she's just working through it. But Virtue and Moir are not beating Davis and White in the fall. They are losing to them. And they lose the Grand Prix final to them, 2011 Grand Prix final in Quebec City. Scott has a fall in the short dance, so they're like 5 points back in that segment. But they then lose the free dance to them, granted just by 0.05. But they lose the free dance and they lose overall, and Scott is pissed. And,
well, they're in Canada too, right?
Yes. And he goes into the mix zone and he has a lot to say. I have some of his quotes. He said, It's a piss off. Sorry, that's as blunt as I can be. We're not happy. We felt like we laid down a good skate, and in our opinions, a good enough skate to win. And obviously we're missing something. It's tough to swallow, especially when Tessa and I have had probably our best fall to date, and this is the best start of a season that we've had. It was a little easier to swallow when we weren't doing the training or Tessa was in pain, but now that everything's a go, it's a bitter pill to swallow. We wanted to win our first Grand Prix final in Canada and in Quebec City, and to not accomplish that is rubbing a little bitter, as you can tell. It's tough to get beat artistically when we feel that we're the best artistic ice dance team in the last 5 years.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's very vocal about this. Davis and White, Virtue and Moir, have always kind of been a bit ahead of them in the standings, and it took Davis and White longer to catch up to being at the very top. But once Davis and White get there and they break through, they really stay focused and consistent and keep kind of building from where they are. With Virtue and Moir having these setbacks, it's like they lose ground and then they're not happy about it. And they're not happy about not being able to catch up. So Virtue and Moir, after saying all this stuff, they do win Worlds. And Davis and White are second. And Pechelot and Borzat, the French team, they get on the podium at 2012 Worlds in Nice. And I want to talk about the fan bases at this time.
Do Charlie and Meryl say anything back?
No. They're always very
about
professional.
what Scott said?
Not really.
Yeah.
No. I mean, I think they just kind of are just I don't know, throw their hands in the air we're not going to get into this. And they were always very polite about it when Virtue and Moir were beating them. I mean, they won the Grand Prix final in 2009 and then finished second to them at the Olympics, and they weren't, talking shit.
Right.
They don't engage. They stay polite. A lot of Scott says a lot of this stuff, and Tessa kind of gets into it at some point too. But Davis and White, they kind of take the high road all the time. So while Scott Moir is in the mix zone running his mouth, Meryl and Charlie are in the kiss and cry to do their winner interview. And remember, this event is in Quebec City, Quebec. So Meryl takes it upon herself to start speaking to the audience in French. And she goes on.
Yeah, she fucking does.
And on. I didn't realize, apparently she's fluent in French. And the Quebec City crowd is like delighted with this. They're just like tittering. And she's just like speaking in French and like answering questions. And the crowd's like, oh my God, this is amazing. This is like the classiest backhanded slap. This is like the only way you're going to see Meryl Davis slap a bitch is in the name of like politeness and diplomacy.
And like she's not even intending to slap a single person. And that is the way that she slaps is unintentionally.
Yeah, like they're backstage complaining and she's winning over the hearts of everyone in the building.
And
I had no idea she was fluent in French.
Yeah, I knew she was like studying Italian when she was at Michigan, but apparently she just speaks French too.
Well, didn't she get married in France?
Yeah.
She did. I think her family like has vacationed there quite a bit. And so she like grew up learning it, I think.
Yeah, and she grew up learning slapping bitches.
Yeah. It's actually her next children's book that she's writing.
Slap a bitch, s'il vous plaît.
Politely.
Coming to a bookstore near you. Pre-order now.
Yeah. Has the TV show come out yet?
No, we'll get to the TV show.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Well, you don't?
Oh, what?
No.
Oh, Adam.
Every day, innocent figure skaters like Ashley are living their lives without knowing anything about figure skating. They're crying out for help. For just $5 a month, you can be a part of the solution. Go to patreon.com/therunthroughpodcast for your chance to stand up for these skaters and to support the education they so desperately need. Thank you.
Okay. So both of these teams are developing like fan bases. They have a lot of interest. Virtue and Moir have this like very intense fan base that is like shipping them as a couple. And Tess and Scott are kind of clear that like, we're not a couple, but then they get on the ice and they have all this chemistry and they're looking at each other and touching each other. And it's like, people are, they don't believe it. And Davis and White, they're getting some of this too. It increases going into Sochi. Their fans aren't quite as crazy as Virtue and Moir's are about like putting them together and making up imaginary, scenarios and blogs and whatever, but they have fans. They both have fans, and the
not
fans,
as much fanfic on the Davis White subreddit.
Yeah. And I also want to say in this era, like working in this era, Virtue and Moir's like continued existence always felt precarious because Tessa was so injured on and off, like, and they would not commit to going through Sochi. They were never clear about it. So we didn't really know like whether they were going to be able to keep going, whether they're going to show up for competitions. It was like they were always iffy. And Davis and White, meanwhile, are like grinding at home. They're improving each season. They become really consistent competitors. Like I said, it took them longer to get there, but once they got there, they were very focused and secure. Davis and White's style, it's like they have this extremely high technical ability, kind of reminiscent of Grisha Platov, and they combine it with this intense theatrical power in competition, like similar to Anasina and Peyzrat. Their weaknesses are in their dance basics and their like ability to move to different rhythms. They always kind of struggled with Latin. They had messier free legs. They had weaker extensions. And those are areas where Virtue and Moir really excelled. So you had like clear differences in these teams that you could kind of like match them against each other. But meanwhile, Davis and White are like doing what they need to do to score really well in this system, and they're winning. Also at 2012 Worlds, the Shibutanis have not great skates. They completely blow their twizzle sequence in the free dance, and they finish 8th overall. So they go from 3rd to 8th, which they're not very happy about. And there are some rumors around this time about conflicts between Spielbahn and Zueva, like wanting more credit for the choreography and who's responsible for different things. But it's just rumors. It's just stuff you hear at events. Like, they're not publicly dissing each other. Then, on June 3rd, 2012, the Detroit...
There's
not
a date.
The date.
Oh my God. There's a hard date.
The Detroit Free Press breaks the news that Igor Spielbahn has been fired from Arctic Edge Ice Arena in Canton, Michigan. Fired. According to Craig O'Neill, the longtime general manager of the rink, the move was made in part because its top 3 teams, including Virtue and Moir and Davis White, felt as if, quote, Igor wasn't there for them anymore. Igor is answering his phone, and he is shocked. He's like, he points to an issue with Zueva that he had, like, she was scheduling teams for training without consulting him, without his input, and that they bickered over that. But he emphasizes that he did not want to split. He wanted to wait until after the Olympics, if at all. And he is just, like, completely shocked by the way this goes down. Later in interviews...
I also have a question.
Yeah.
Like, how is it, like, grounds for termination?
Well, that's the thing. We never get the full story here. Neither one of them ever go into the level of detail that we want. Like, back in the day, like, we had, like, Klimova and Ponomarenko talking shit about Dubova and her talking shit about them, and then them, like, being on the ice together in a TV feature. But this, like, there's just this, I don't know, it's not, like, an American thing to be so openly shit-talking about your coaches and each other. And it's unfortunate for us because we want the tea. We want to know what's going on. Zueva does allude later on in interviews that Spielbahn wanted to coach teams on the side separately from her. And she was like, no, we share everything. You don't get to have teams on the side. Like, if there are teams, they're our teams. Like, him wanting to have, like, a career separate from her, she's not okay with that because they're a partnership. So the top, like...
So he was, like, soft launching his own career.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what she alludes to. So the top...
She's like, I'm just going to cut you off right there.
Yeah. The top three teams put out statements supporting Igor, basically thanking him for working with them, discrediting a lot of the implications in this Detroit Free Press article that it was because of them. They, expressed that they didn't have issues with him and did not request or instigate the split. Meryl Davis is especially clear on these points, and she specifically calls out the article and says, this article is inaccurate. This does not reflect what was going on with us. We love Igor, and we didn't want anything to do with this, and we didn't, encourage it. The best explanation we get, kind of what's going on, comes from Charlie's mother, Jackie White, who goes onto the Detroit Free Press Facebook page, where the article is posted.
Mom's doing good Facebook work.
Yes. Someone, in response to the article, calls the skaters brats. And so she responds to this, and she says, this wasn't initiated by the skaters. They are obviously only trying to hang on by the skin of their teeth to continue training, while the coaches battle to the death, and when convenient, use them as pawns in the fight. This is an old story of who has control, where egos come into play and team cooperation erodes. The skaters in this scenario are not brats, but victims caught in the crossfire.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm. So
I believe it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if she won them over by calling them victims. That being said,
in 2012,
Go Jackie.
These are the victims. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounds like that does sound like
They
a more
got caught in
plausible
the
scenario
middle.
to me than them going
for
to get
sure,
Igor
they got caught
fired.
in the middle.
Yeah.
But then who got Igor fired?
Yeah.
Marina?
Well,
I just want to know what kind of journalism is this that they're coming out with basically somewhat vague quotes from athletes claiming that they're like supporting this breakup.
yeah.
It's the DFP,
Yeah.
Detroit
course.
Free Press.
Esteemed journal.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of rumors that it seems like Marina is the one who really instigated this, but the people at the rink really cite the athletes for some reason. Even though the athletes were like, we know this was not us. There are rumors that the Shibutanis were really unhappy with what happened with their big drop at Worlds, that they felt that Spielbahn was paying more attention to Chalk Bates than to them, that might have had something to do with it. But these are rumors. These are not ever confirmed by any of these teams. So Virtue and Moir, Davis and White, and the Shibutanis stay with Marina Zueva. Chalk and Bates and Tobias Stagniunas, they go with Spielbahn. Tobias Stagniunas are a Lithuanian team. The Russian Federation is like having a field day with this, and they are making all these overtures to Spielbahn in the press. Like, come to Russia. We'll give you a rink. We'll give you students. You can come out. You can even bring your students. Like, come on out. And Spielbahn's like, no, thank you. No, thank you. He stays in Michigan. He sets up shop in Novi, which is another Detroit suburb. So at this point in the Detroit suburbs, it is like ice dance central. You have Krylova and Kamerlengo. You have Spielbahn now in Novi. You have Zueva in Canton. And I think Chesnachenko and Nichaeva are still at the Ann Arbor Skating Club, coaching lower level skaters.
And you have 8 Mile available on DVD and Blu-ray.
Yeah. So Spielbahn, this season, he starts taking on more international students, which seems like it was what he wanted to do before that he and Zueva were disagreeing over. He takes on Capellini and Lanotte, the Italian team, and he gives them a free dance to Carmen. And people call this a revenge Carmen because he knew that Virtue and Moir were skating to Carmen this season. So we have 2 Carmens on the Grand Prix. Zueva brings on, so both Spielbahn and Zueva need someone to replace the other. So Zueva brings on Maurizio Margalio and then Oleg Epstein as well to be technical consultants to kind of fill Igor's role. And Ice Dance fans have a field day with this and are laughing at the idea of Maurizio Margalio coaching Scott Moir. Yeah. And Spielbahn, in turn, he brings Barbara Fusarpoli on to work with his teams for a minute.
Wow, they really
I don't remember this.
This is true personal shots in a divorce.
It's tit for tat.
Yeah.
Well, who was first? Was Barbara brought on first?
I think Maurizio.
Or
I think Maurizio.
Crazy move by
Yeah.
Marina.
Yeah. I mean,
Because the idea of Maurizio teaching Scott how to skate.
I've done a lot of Maurizio dragging on this podcast, but I will say that despite the fact that he was not able to actually do things himself very well, he's turned out to be a very, very good coach and a good technical coach. And so,
You know
that's
what?
so true.
Yes.
People who, and I'm going to say this as myself, there are a lot of things that I was not good at doing. And because I wasn't good at doing them, I spent so much time working on them and still was never good at them. But all that time I spent working on it was me learning how to understand it. So I'm really good at coaching them.
It's so true. I was just going to say the same thing. That, yeah. All right,
Like
Maurizio,
Lutz's.
we take it back. Good on
Yeah.
Marina.
Yeah. Spielbahn later sues Zueva, and several of their students are deposed.
Never mind.
On what
Never
grounds?
Well, we don't know because the whole case is sealed. They settled. Everyone had to sign NDAs. If you want to get...
Wait, they settled?
Yeah.
So, okay, wait. Michelle, can you give us a little bit of background? If someone's settling, does that kind of insinuate that there might have been something in there and it's just easier to settle?
Yeah,
It means
or
they don't want to go to court with
it's the
it.
way of getting out, because going to court is incredibly expensive. You have to pay your attorneys, you have to do all the trial prep.
Well,
it's
and
a ton
it's
of work.
public record once you go to court. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Sarah, you also need to go to law school.
No, she does.
Do you know what they settled for?
No, we don't have anything. I mean, I would say some of the skaters from this era might know, but they don't talk about it. They sign NDAs. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And on this podcast, we're famously very fact-based.
Yeah.
So if we can't
Yeah.
find it in the public database of Michigan court settlings, we
can
reporting
text
it.
the Shibatani.
I think Meryl and Charlie probably know more details about this, but would never talk about it. But I know if you want to work on them.
Michelle is famously more fact-based than we are, though.
That is
sure.
famous.
If you've noticed throughout the dance lore, there is there's less opinions and more facts.
So when they were coaching these two teams, Zueva was always so focused on Virtue Moir, and Shabalin was always a little bit closer to Davis and White. But both teams stay with Zueva, and it's interesting because looking into what happens after this, it seems like of their teams, Virtue and Moir are the ones that are most affected by Spielbahn's departure. They aren't as trained or as clean in competition the following seasons, and they lose even more ground to Davis and White. So that takes me to part 4.
I love that this is broken up into parts. This is my first time experiencing it, and it's so fun.
No,
What
it's-
is this called?
It makes me want to redo all
It's
the men's
called
lore.
storytelling.
Okay.
So part 4
Now, what
is
is it
called
called?
The Favoritism of Zueva and a Small Arrangement Between Friends.
Yes.
So we get to,
I love this book.
so all through the 2013-14 season, Virtue and Moir are competing this program to Carmen, and it's like a very modern Carmen with very modern dance choreography. And this should be a huge home run for them. This program is so cool. It has such stunning lifts. The music editing is great. It's just really, it's captivating. Like, they have a good free dance, but they are just not skating up to their past level. I mean, even where they were at 2012 Worlds, like, they are just having trouble getting through the program cleanly, and you're sort of seeing some of the architecture behind it, like the work that they're putting into it. And Davis and White, meanwhile, they're skating to Notre Dame de Paris, and they're having a great season.
Oh, I loved this program.
I like the program a lot, except for that one part with the gravelly voice that I can't. Something about it acoustically really hurts my ears.
I can understand that. I'm going to be honest with you, Michelle, and this is going to acoustically hurt your ears right now. I did not realize that they had skated to Carmen twice.
Who?
So basically this year. I had no idea.
Virtue and Moir?
You're saying the Virtue and Moir skated to Carmen this year. I had no idea.
This is the only time they skate to Carmen, isn't it?
Yeah, when's the second time?
Are you thinking of Moulin Rouge?
Yep.
Every day, innocent figure skaters like Ashley are living their lives without knowing anything about figure skating. They're crying out for help. For just $5 a month, you can be a part of the solution. Go to patreon.com/therunthroughpodcast for your chance to stand up for these skaters and to support the education they so desperately need. Thank you.
You know why I'm thinking that? Because I told Shay I wanted to skate to Carmen, and she said, how about Moulin Rouge instead?
So now in your mind, it's the same piece of music.
Their
Hi, my
Moulin
name is
Rouge
Ashley
costumes
Wagner.
could very easily be Carmen costumes. I'll give you that, like aesthetically.
Yes.
It's red.
Thank you.
Michelle, my impression of this era was that Tessa and Scott really had these incredible programs, but it was always like the injuries or something that was holding them back from beating Meryl and Charlie, because it just felt like Meryl and Charlie had done about 1,000 run-throughs of their programs, and then you had the artists coming out with this incredible art, and it just felt, to somebody who had done it 1,000 times, undertrained.
Yeah, definitely. That's absolutely true. I also think Virtue and Moir, it could go to the training as well, but they started losing levels on things that they wouldn't ordinarily. And that could also go down to training, but levels in step sequences are just you're dead if you don't get them. So at Worlds, 2013 Worlds are in London, Ontario, which is basically Virtue and Moir's hometown. Davis and White skated the best short dance of their lives. I don't know why they came out, and they were absolutely foot perfect, unbelievable in this. And they have a 3-point lead going into the free dance. And in dance, that is a chasm, you're dead in the water. They're very close in the free dance scoring, but Davis and White are getting the edge on GOE, and they're getting a slight edge on program components. And it does go down to the performance and the training and just the way that they're delivering these programs. So Davis and White win, and Virtue and Moir are second. And Virtue and Moir are fuck, because they're going into a new Olympic season, and they are doing everything they can, or maybe not, but they're doing as much as they can, and they're not winning, and they just can't get it back. They did win 2012 Worlds, but this is they're losing ground. So
I mean, you're losing the short dance in your hometown by 3 points. That's tough.
You're losing the free dance with your
proof is in the
incredible
pudding right
Carmen program in your hometown. I mean, they could have won the free dance and not won Worlds overall, but they don't.
I mean, arguably, the Hip Hip Chin Chin and the Carmen are two of the most iconic free dances of all time. These are some of the best free dances of all time. They're so good, but they're losing. I think, they're losing the levels and everything. It just felt how can you beat machines? Because that's what Meryl and Charlie felt like. They were fucking machines.
I also think that the way that Spielbahn and Zoeva trained their teams, the more of a machine you were, the better you were going to compete. And when Tessa just couldn't do that anymore, I don't know if their coaches knew how to get them to that place without that level of training. And that's something I think the Montreal school is much better at, that they've kind of gotten that figured out. But I'll get to that later.
Well, and it's also Meryl and Charlie, they were always behind Tessa and Scott. And they don't have that Olympic title. No matter how hard Tessa and Scott are training, there is this breath that they can take that the Americans can't, because they are hungry for that Olympic title, and they can see it on the horizon. Yeah,
exactly. That's true. So in order to kind of take control of the narrative, Tessa and Scott decide to do a reality show. And they do this reality show.
I can't believe you don't know about this, Adam.
I don't know about this at all.
Are you kidding me? Especially like talking to Meryl. This is so traumatizing to Meryl. It's like, not that Meryl has any kind of a villain origin story because she's the kindest human being on earth. But if there was one for her, it would be this.
Yeah. So it is the cheesiest, most ridiculous nonsense. And it's, but it is interesting in the sense that they give this camera crew access to their training and access, really, intense access to them. They take these shots of like Meryl and Charlie practicing and walking around the rink, and they make them look like they are like Darth Vader. I mean, it's just, and
what?
Yeah, they make them look evil. Like they make them look like we're the innocent, lovely heroes, and we train with Marina, but she trains this other team, and they're coming for our title. It's anyway, but they use this show as a platform to like. They criticize Davis. Well, not criticize Davis and White, but they kind of make them look bad. They really talk a lot about sharing a coach with them, how they don't like it. They're very competitive with Davis and White, and they like put this in every episode. Like this is sort of the narrative. Like we've got to beat this team, and they really question Zueva's loyalty throughout the show, which I thought was interesting too. Like Scott talks about it a lot. You also get to hear they are mic'd when they do, I think, their challenger event at the beginning of the season. You get to hear what Marina and Tessa say to each other when they're taking the ice, which you don't. I don't know. I was interested to hear it. And what they say to each other is, I love you. Tessa says, I love you. And Zoe's like, I love you. And then they go out to, it's just like.
Oh my God, Raph would literally never.
Yeah.
I often had to be like, Raph, you have to stand at the boards with me.
Aww.
You have to be here.
You have to be here. That's
yeah,
so sweet.
it is. But it's interesting. I don't know what I was expecting. I wanted her to be like, hold your fucking edge or something.
It is,
like cast a spell
it's
or
definitely
something.
interesting coming from like, I won't even say because she's Russian. I think partially a little, I'm just stereotyping, but I think it's even more so like if they're known for training them so hard, you think of somebody who does that as like a hard ass who's not saying that kind of thing to their skaters. I guess that's what I'm. What's
I
surprising.
will say, as somebody who worked with many Russian coaches throughout my career, that when you are in the good graces of a Russian person, there is no greater sense of protection you will ever feel.
So true.
They have their like wings around you, and they will protect you from whatever. You are their baby. You are their child.
Yeah.
You are their everything. And on the flip side of it, if you're like, I would like to take a lesson somewhere else, they're like, I fed you from my teat. You mean nothing to me.
Yeah.
Raph was an absolute asshole to me, but if anyone was ever an asshole to me, he'd be like, no, I'm the only one allowed to be an ass. She's mine.
Yes.
And he would be so mean and then get off the ice and he'd be like, you look like you're having a really rough day today. Are you okay?
Yeah,
like,
it is crazy.
But mean it very genuinely, and like I find them to be so kind.
And I mean, Zueva, like, she raised Tess and Scott. She got them, I think, in 2004, and they have always been her pets. She is just, and she brought them to their Olympic title, and she had this whole Gordieva and Grinkov thing with them, and I'm not surprised that she's that, but it just, when they were taking the ice for the competition, I just thought it was interesting. So the show also illustrates just how much later in the season Virtue and Moir were getting their material ready to go than Davis and White were. I mean, they are at their test skates in the fall, and they're still working stuff out, changing a lot of things. And Davis and White, meanwhile, they were ready to go in early September. I remember they showed up at US Classic.
Yeah.
Their programs were done. They were stunning, and they were like in shape. Like they were ready to do it. And there is a huge gap in scores between Davis and White and Virtue Moir at the start of the season. And the whole like story of the show is like, we're trying to close the gap. And so that's all that Virtue and Moir are focused on, like just closing this gap, getting closer to Davis and White so they have a shot. Davis and White's free dance this season is Scheherazade. And they've been holding this music for a while because they know it's a good vehicle for them. And it is a very complete program. And it has the craziest curve lift entry where Charlie's holding Meryl by like two arms and he pulls her up like this and she sort of jumps and twists and lands with her torso on his shoulder in a curve lift. It's like an arms free entry. It's incredibly difficult. And they are, I mean, from the beginning of the season, they are ready to go clean. They're going out and skating these programs like so well. Virtue and Moir's free dance, on the other hand, Zueva allegedly insisted on both teams skating to Russian music for this season. There's a lot of Russian music that's going to play well in Russia, which is where the Olympics are. This music she chooses is not it. And I actually, when I was preparing for this, I watched Virtue and Moir skate at Grand Prix Cup of Russia in 2008 with their Carmen program. And the crowd was so into it. Like, they were so into the music. Like, they know. But anyway, Zueva, for the Olympic season, she picks The Seasons by Alexander Glazunov. And it's, like, similar to their music, to the Mahler piece they used for Vancouver, but less
That's what
less
I always
good.
thought.
And the story of the program is sort of a tribute to themselves. It's like a retrospective on their career and their journey. It's a week.
Are they retiring at this point?
Yeah.
Or like, is that what everybody
Yeah.
thinks?
And
because they're doing a retrospective.
And she's so injured. It's just like they kind of make it seem like
Right.
they're going to be done after Sochi. We thought for sure both of these teams were done after Sochi at the time. That was our mindset. So Virgin Moir's free dance changes a lot through the season. The concept, the way they describe it, the lifts, the transitions, like this program gets like a full overhaul throughout the season. Around this time, people are starting to talk about Zueva not liking Virtue and Moir as much as she did and starting to favor Davis and White. I don't know how much of this is real, but it's just kind of, there was this feeling and this discussion that her allegiance had changed, whereas Virtue and Moir were always her babies, that she was now looking at Davis and White and really packaging them for the Olympics, especially seeing...
Yes, do people feel that way because Davis and White have a better free dance?
Partially, that's part of it.
Yeah.
And also Davis and White beating them in Canada with, you know, a program that was seen as like less artistic.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we have to talk about the Fedora Andreev of it all. And I feel like, I don't like this because I feel like this is like, who cares? But Marina Zueva has a very handsome son named Fedor Andreev. And it just so happens that he is always dating the girl in the team that is Zueva's favorite at the moment. So he was dating Tanith for a long time. They broke up. He was dating Tessa for, I don't think up to Vancouver, but before Vancouver. And then he starts dating Meryl in this quad. And it's like this idea, you know, people talk about this like she's favoring whoever her son is dating. I think that it may be the other way around. Like she favors this team and so then he starts dating them because they're around more. I don't know. Who knows? I don't know. Meryl ends up marrying Fedor Andreev. They're still together now. But this was the thing that people were saying. And it is, you know, he's using his like mom's rank as like his own Love Island, I guess, but whatever. This was a storyline. Love Island is amazing this season, by the way. If
Another
you're watching
bombshell
it,
enters.
But anyway,
Canton.
Wait, I've heard that it's amazing this season. I'm planning to watch it.
So we get to the Sochi Olympics. And again, people are talking about this favoritism issue. Zueva decides to walk in the opening ceremony with Team USA instead of Canada. Ooh. And then, at the start of the team event, this French newspaper, L'Equipe, publishes a story. I can't speak French, but I'm going to try. Petits arrangements entre amis. Small arrangements between friends. And this article alleges that the U.S. and Russian judges have conspired to ensure gold for Russia in the team event, support Russia in the pairs event, and ensure gold for the Americans, Davis and White, in the ice dance competition. And the source, L'Equipe, gets this information from an unnamed Russian coach. So this story is covered throughout the games. Team event and individual event, both teams are asked about it repeatedly. And U.S. figure skating's official response is like, LOL. Like, they call it laughable. They're like, Davis and White are the world champions. Like, please. Like, they won everything this season. Why wouldn't they win this? So Virtue and Moir finished behind. Davis and White and Virtue and Moir would do both portions of the team event, which is brand new at this Olympics. So it just seems kind of crazy. Like, we're all doing this and they're going to do both portions, and they both are. They do it. Virtue and Moir are behind Davis White, both portions. Tessa makes a mistake on her twizzles in the short dance, and they're 3 points back there. And then in the free dance, they lose levels on their step sequences and are 7 points back. 7 points back in a free dance is like, that's crazy. That could be like
different league.
Yeah.
It's different stratospheres, yeah.
So Russia wins the team event, Canada is second, and the United States is third. So Virtue and Moir, like I said, their free dance was like under construction all season. Up until the competition, they are reworking a lift in their free dance on practice ice. It's just, things aren't going well. However, we get to the individual event, and Virtue and Moir skate their short dance the best they could possibly have skated it. They skate it so well. It's foxtrot and quick step, and it has the fin step in it, which is a relatively new compulsory dance that is extremely difficult. So they skate this program really, really, really well. And I will say, being in the building, working on this event, I fully thought, they're either going to win the short dance or they're going to tie. Like, this is a lot more serious competition this year. Like, finally, Virtue and Moir have, skated up to this level that Davis and White are at, and they're going to be much closer going to the free dance. That is not the case. They go into second behind Davis and White by over 2.5 points. Davis and White's...
So it's been decided.
So it feels a little sketchy.
And Virtue and Moir lose level on one pattern of their fin step. They get a level 3. So Davis and White, they set a world record. They get a level 4 on both fin step patterns. And Petri Coco, the creator of the fin step with his partner Susanna Rakamo, they're Finnish, he speaks out against the result. He says on Twitter, "I don't understand the judging in ice dancing. Virtue and Moir should be leading, in my honest opinion." He also pointed out that he thought the timing on Davis and White's fin step was off. And the other thing that was interesting is that all the scores in dance go up from the team event to the individual event, but Virtue and Moir, even though they skated the short dance much better in the individual event, their distance behind Davis and White is about the same. So they scored pretty much the same, just a little bit higher, same distance, despite their performance being better. Yeah. So at this point, people are being like, wait, this is weird. Let's.
So it's like they didn't even try to hide the fact that it's maybe a little pre-decided.
But it's what's trending. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's what's trending. It's like, what vibe are you putting out? Especially when these teams are so neck and neck, and they just went head to head.
Yeah.
What, a few days ago? So it's almost like it's too late, you guys.
Yeah. Right.
You
There's that.
didn't show up early enough. It's too late. It's not even like it's pre-decided. It's like you decided that to do your stuff too late.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the team event is definitely working against them at this point.
Yeah.
Totally.
So then in the free dance, both teams skate really well. Virtue and Moir skate this free dance the best they've skated all season. But they finished 2 points behind Davis White in the free dance, and they are second overall. And Davis and White, they skate phenomenally. And the crowd is really into them because of their really exciting lifts and their Russian music. They have a really great skate, and they win by a pretty sizable margin, and they win the U.S.'s first Olympic title in ice dance. And Virtue and Moir finished second. Their free dance, like I said, the music, it's just, the crowd is just not that into them. Despite them skating really well, it just doesn't have that, I don't know, it's just not accessible. It feels like their Mahler program that they did in Vancouver, it felt like, I don't know, there was more connection and the crowd was more into it. Something about this Russian crowd is in Sochi it was weird, they didn't care what country you were from if you were skating to Russian music that they knew. So I remember there was a girl in the women's individual event. She was Brazilian by way of Atlanta, Georgia, and she was skating to Dark Eyes, and she was not very good. Didn't even make the free skate. But when that music started, those first few notes of Dark Eyes, the crowd was in, and they were cheering through her whole program. And for Virtue and Moir, I feel like that was an advantage that they gave up. Even though the music is Russian, it's the audience doesn't really know it. They're not, I don't know, educated on Russian classical music to the level that Zueva probably is. So anyway, I don't think the result was wrong. I think that they got the podium right in those first two placements, but it's the way that they got there is just kind of with the short dance scoring. But Virtue and Moir sour grapes after their loss, and Scott goes into the mix zone and he has some things to say.
Of course he
says,
does.
we sometimes, he's talking about Zueva. He says, we sometimes felt like she wasn't in our corner. We had some odd things happen this year that hadn't happened before. For the first time, she wasn't there.
Is this is immediately after all of this?
It might have been the day. I don't know. It was right after. It might have been the next day. Like,
so he's
but it's like at the
dissing
Olympics.
his coach.
yeah, at the Olympics. Yeah. And Zueva has an opportunity to respond. And she said, I did not choose between the two. I love and respect both teams. Yeah.
Right.
And Virch and Moir, they dial these comments back a little bit, but they're still like hot. You know, they're upset about it, and they're kind of projecting it at her. Like, we felt like she wasn't on our side. Yeah. So that was the top two spots on the podium. In third place was a Russian team, Yelena Ilinich and Nikita Katsalapov, who skated to Swan Lake, the Black Swan variation. She's in a tutu, and as you can imagine, the crowd was fucking feral for them. Screaming. And watching this back, I was like, why didn't Virch and Moir do this program? Like, Swan Lake is so popular.
Yeah,
They
actually,
killed.
what a crazy, easy thing. There's something to be said about a war horse done well.
Yeah.
And Tool.
Yeah.
And Tool.
And a sassy Russian crowd that's only there for themselves.
That was the sassiest Russian crowd of all time.
Yeah. They were doping too.
The crowd was doping and like chugging beers. They did not care who was on the ice. They were going to be chanting Russia.
Yeah. And the French team, Pechelot and Borzat, were fourth. Came really close to a medal, but it's hard to beat that, the Russian energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was sad for them. But anyway, that takes me into part 5. The meddling of Morozov.
Oh. Wow, I can't believe we've made it this far without hearing his name.
Yeah. Well, he was coaching them. So Ilinich and Katsalapov were paired by Irina Lobachova. Remember her, 2002 Olympic silver medalist. She's coaching kids in Russia. And as children, she sees the two of them and she's like, you guys are now a baby ice dance team. And so they skate together for a couple years in Russia, and then they split up. Ilinich moves to Michigan. She trains with Spielbahn and Zueva by herself for a couple years. Then she goes back to Russia in 2008 and re-teams up with Katsalapov. And they are coached by Julin. And they do their first international season in the Olympic season, 2009-2010. And they win the World Junior title. And they have this free dance to music from Schindler's List that is extraordinary. They're dressed like they're in a concentration camp. There are gunshots at the beginning of the program. It's very dramatic, but it's done so well.
I have chills thinking about it because I remember watching this program for the first time. Easily, you think that doesn't sound right. It's unbelievable the emotional range that they have.
And they're children. She's 15 when this happens. And I think Katsalapov was 18.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So, this team is so striking because they are so good. They have the most beautiful deep edges, matched free legs and feet, lines, extensions, artistry, chemistry, and like they just, the emotional range and power they have. And it's just like the best junior skating we've seen. Like people are excited about them. They were about Virtue and Moir when they were juniors. Like, wow. And also, in Russia, we haven't seen anyone as special as the skaters that the Soviet system produced. Like, this is the first time the Russian skating federation is coaching someone up to that level, that you see them and you're just like, oh my gosh, like this is, they're making art. It's special. So Ilinich and Katsalapov, they transition to senior the next season, and then they leave Julin for Nikolai Morozov in 2011. And Morozov, he gives them some weird material. They have this program in the pre-Olympic season to music from Ghost, the musical. And this program is just like a hot mess. Like, what is going on? But despite the messy choreography, you can really see the potential and the star power this team has. However, they are, they're out there winning medals at Grand Prix events, but they are making mistakes in competition. They are not skating to their full potential. And in the years leading up to Sochi, you really see all the star power and the potential they have, but they are just not capitalizing on it. And there's a lot of rumors about their work ethic, them having personal drama. There's rumors that they're dating each other, that they're broken up, that they're fighting. It's just, there's like a black cloud around them. And it's not just Nikolai Morozov. So Morozov packages them better for Sochi. They have this Swan Lake free dance, like I mentioned. It's a huge hit. Their free dance score improves 7 points from the team event to the individual event. It's like they have a huge boost. And for some reason, somehow, they get trained for this event and they skate really well. They do the free dance and the team event, and then they do both portions of the individual event, and they have no issues. And like, this is a team I haven't seen do a clean competition since they were like juniors, and they're awesome. They're on. And watching these programs, it's like people think like, wow, like this is the future of ice dance. Like this team is going to win everything after this. After Davis and White and Virtue and Moir are done, like, look, this is the future. They're going to win in Korea. They are amazing. They are so young and they're so talented. And they are 19 and 22 in Sochi. So, like I mentioned, Ilanik and Katsalapov, as a team, they were dating each other. They broke up. And before Sochi, I don't think at Sochi it continued, but before Sochi, Ilanik then was dating their coach, Nikolai Morozov. And I can say this confidently because she was posting on social media throughout this period, all about all kinds of stuff. This was like, she was very online, especially for like a Russian skater who's like supposed to be training. Yeah. And these posts about their relationship are very immature. It's really disturbing. Like I remember there was one when it was Morozov's birthday, and she decorated the headboard of his bed with like handwritten signs on computer paper. And I was just like, you're a child. This is awful. But I don't think they're together anymore by the time we get to Sochi. The age and power thing, it's just, anyway. So, shortly after Sochi, where they've won the team gold and the individual bronze, a story comes out in the Russian press that Katsalapov has had a tryout with Victoria Sinitsina, who is a younger Russian ice dancer. She was in Sochi with her partner, Ruslan Ziganshin, and they were 16th. But Katsalapov has had a tryout with her. He wants to team up with her and be double Olympic champion with her in Korea in 2018, meaning win the team and win the individual event. He wants to do that, but with her. So Ilanik and Katsalapov then go to Worlds. And they go to Worlds like after the story comes out. And they're together at Worlds. And they're not like confirming or denying this. They're just like, I don't know, you know. And like on paper, they should easily win this world title. Like they've beaten all of these teams. They should win it. Another story comes out right before the event in TASS, Russian news, that this will be their last competition together and they will split after Worlds. And Ilanik is like, I don't know anything about this. What are you guys talking about?
Oh,
so they go out to skate the short dance, and Katsalapov blows his twizzle sequence. I mean, just like screws it up. It's gone. They lose the element. This is a recurring theme for him, by the way. He's not the best twizzler. The team wins the free dance, but doesn't make it onto the podium. They're fourth overall. This is a really bizarre Worlds because the top three teams are separated by 0.06 of a point. And it's Capellini Lanotte of Italy win, Weaver Poge of Canada are second, and Paige Schlottenborzat are third. And the Russians are 1.05 from the title. So they're 0.99 behind Paige Schlottenborzat and 1.05 from gold. So if they had he'd done his twizzles, they would have won a world title.
Right.
I have to also mention here, poor Paige Schlottenborzat. They had decided that the Olympics would be their final competition together. And then they, went on tour and whatever. And their coach, Igor Spielborn, at this point, Igor was coaching them, was like, you guys need to go to Worlds. Just do it. Just get a medal. You'll get a medal. You need to go. So they're like, all right, we'll go. So then they go. And they skate relatively well. And then they don't win. I was like...
They did get a medal.
They got a medal, yeah. Okay. So the event ends. Ilanik and Katsalapov go home. Beginning of April, Katsalapov announces that he is no longer skating with Ilanik. He is teaming up with Victoria Sinitsina. So that's in early April. The Russian Federation is pissed. And it is said at this time, this is not confirmed, but it is reported without confirmation, that Morozov encouraged and enabled this, that he encouraged Katsalapov's unhappiness skating with Ilanik because they don't get along very well, and encouraged him to pursue this tryout with Sinitsina and to set this in motion. And the Russian Federation is so upset about this because this is their new baby team that's finally got it together, finally competing well, just had these great Olympics, and what's going on? Stay together. You can date her, you don't need to do this, but yeah.
Right, this is your job.
And Katsalapov's a really good skater, but Ilanik is a star. She's such a good skater, and she's just such the way she presents on the ice is just captivating to watch. She's great, and she's the face of the team. So the federation is like, you guys have to wait a month, and we are not accepting your new partnership. You guys need to figure it out and talk about it. And they talk to them and whatever. But Katsalapov is unmoved. And in May, they finally announce his partnership with Sinitsina, but they're like, Morozov, you do not get to keep this team. And they send them, they pack them up, and they send them to Michigan, to Zueva. So Zueva is coaching the new team of Sinitsina and Katsalapov. Meanwhile, Elena Ilinich is without a partner. She's invited to have a tryout with Ruslan Ziganshin, Sinitsina's previous partner, and she teams up with him. And they are coached by his longtime coach, Elena Kosterova.
Jesus.
So Ilinich and Ziganshin are actually a pretty good match, and they're both in pretty good shape. Well, Ilinich is in Olympic shape, and they have a really good fall season, the 14-15 season. They win the Russian title, they get on the Grand Prix podiums, and, you know, they look good. But it kind of, they lose momentum from there. I think a combination of training issues, particularly hers, the next 2 seasons, like, they look out of shape, and it's just downhill from there. And they end up splitting at the end of the 2016-2017 season. And she does not team up with someone new. Meanwhile, Nikita Katsalapov, he takes a really long time to gel with Victoria Sinitsina. They have some really big mistakes in competition. It's like bad. And he also has multiple injuries. He has a broken foot, shoulder surgery, and Achilles injury. They make it to the pre-Olympic nationals, but he suffers a ruptured ligament in his ankle during the national short dance, and they withdraw. So, yeah,
this just
in the
feels
end,
a little
neither
karmic
Ilinich nor Katsalapov are even on the Olympic team in 2018. And Russia misses the ice dance podium for the first time in history, in the history of ice dance being an Olympic sport.
Fucking Nikolai.
Yeah, thank you for that, sir. Yeah.
I know that's what you're trying to say without saying it.
But anyway, I'll go back to 2014. After the Olympic season, Davis and White go on Dancing with the Stars. And Charlie makes it pretty far. Meryl is like the star of this show. She wins. And it is a huge, I don't like Dancing with the Stars. I think it's like ridiculous.
How dare you?
I mean, why do they all compete different rhythms? It's like, how can you judge them against each other when they're doing different rhythms? But anyway,
That's so
I
true.
tried this
You're
the
right.
first time I really tried watching it, to watch Meryl and Charlie, and it was like, I don't like this. But Meryl dances with this guy named Max Chemirovsky. And they have like an amazing connection. They have really good chemistry, and he's like so thrilled to be dancing with her because she's amazing and she can like dance, you know? And they are just, people are going kind of crazy over this. And I think at this time, her relationship with Fedor and Tanith's relationship with Charlie's relationship with Tanith were like not talked about, because they wanted people to think that Meryl and Charlie were in a relationship because it like made their skating more believable. I don't know. People are just, they see Meryl as a free agent at this point. And so the Dancing with the Stars fans are shipping her with this guy, Max. Meanwhile, while the show is on the air, Max is actually in real life dating Jennifer Lopez. And so, like, yeah, J-Lo.
Wait, Jennifer Lopez? I did not know.
So I'm like
that it
having
was
an out-of-body
J-Lo.
experience, checking out at the grocery store, and there's like Us Weekly there, and it has a story about the love triangle between Max Chemirovsky, Jennifer Lopez, and Meryl Davis. This was incredible. It's like ice dancing has arrived. Meryl is like at my grocery store on a magazine cover with J-Lo.
Right.
Yeah.
Meryl
I
is
should have
now
bought that and saved it.
connected
It was
with
just
J-Lo.
so crazy. I think that Meryl was dating Fedor Andreev through this whole time. I don't think she was dating this guy at all, but it's like it was like this chemistry, and people were just like eating it up.
Sure, you just let people run with it for
and the
publicity.
The success of this shows me that if we had more like TV coverage of ice dance and stuff, people would love it, because they like love seeing these people together.
Yeah.
Well, and there is so much like you dated him, and then you dated him, and then you like so much hopping between people that audiences would love.
Yeah, someone should make a TV
And I
show about
remember,
it.
I mean,
There needs to be a social component to figure skating.
it makes it all the more engaging. I also remember
We need like the F1 show component, but to figure skating. People need to feel like they know us and our mess. If you know our mess,
I think it's
you really
hard
know
because
us.
like the reality show that you described of like Tessa and Scott doing, it's like no one would do that now.
No,
They would never like demonize their competitors on TV like that. They just won't do it. They're like, I mean, call it like.
Me too, in a heartbeat.
I mean,
I would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be demonizing. It'd be showing their true colors.
You can't demonize someone if you're the demon, because as we've established, I'm the
Right.
witch, you're the
I
demon.
feel like maybe single
And I'm the
skaters,
demon.
like some select single skaters might do it now, but the dancers definitely would not.
No, I don't think so, because they're too busy
The
remembering
dancers
people's
definitely
opening
would not do
poses.
it.
No.
Wait, really, really quickly. I was like flipping through Instagram, scrolling, and one of like the major like celebrating women's sports platforms did a post about like an amazing display of professional sportsmanship, and it was Amber Glenn and the 3 girls back in the green room remembering, and I'm like, fuck me, I'm an asshole.
Well,
I'll own that. I'll own that.
So, well, okay. So anyway,
Okay, continue
after the
on
season,
with
both
this
Davis and
chapter.
White and Virtue and Moir step away from the sport with the expressed intention to like take some time away. We kind of understand this as like a soft retirement, but they don't officially retire because, you know, it's like you want to have the possibility open. You want to keep like making money and whatever. But there's no real indication that either one will ever return. And so, and Ilyich and Kontsalapov, as I said, split up, and Peshlot and Borzot also retired. They were 4th at the Olympics. So with all 3 Olympic medalists out, the next cycle is like wide open. Who's going to be on top?
exciting.
And so that takes me to part 6. And I don't know if you want to stop here or if you want to do 2 more years.
I think maybe we should stop
Okay.
and make that the cliffhanger of it's wide open, and we'll see.
I
what
think that's a
happens.
great way.
No, I think
Oh,
it's
yeah.
perfect.
Cool.
I am titillated. My titties are titillated. This was so
No, it's fabulous.
interesting. My God. It's so funny because for me, having lived side by side, there's some things that I truly remember so vividly, and other things like thinking that Tessa and Scott skated to Carmen twice when really they didn't ever. Like I know some things really well, and other things I just have no clue what I'm talking about. But the way that you told this
thank
was
you.
so
I
good,
honestly,
Michelle.
I had a hard time
love
with
the
it because I
lore.
wanted to talk more about Peshlot and Borzot, but they really didn't meddle or factor in much here. And I'm like obsessed with them.
It's so hard
Yeah.
because not talking about somebody in the lore series has nothing to do with the amount of lore that they add. But because there's so much to cover, it's you really have to focus on like world championship Olympic results. And that's what you have to keep the storylines to. That's the toughest part about it. But it's unbelievable. Wait. I cannot wait for people to listen to these.
Oh, God. Do you want to know the title of part 6 that we're not going to get to?
Yes.
Meet Me in Montreal.
Yes.
Oh, we're
We
gonna
will.
meet you in
We will.
Montreal, and hopefully everyone else listening to this will meet us in Montreal for part 4.
Yeah, we'll see you in part 4. Bye, everyone. Thank you, Michelle, so much.
Thank you.
Bye.